Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable conversation.
All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and much, much more. All right, let me go and introduce the crew. We got Maya.
I know it's going first. Hey y'all.
Hey y'all. Yeah.
Hey y'all.
Quan. And we got Kunta. I ain't never called him by his real name.
Oh man, I was just finna change everything. I was like, I got your Latin names and everything. I'm like, well, let me change.
Yeah, you can go ahead and put it up there. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. It's been an interesting week to say the least, man. Let's go around the room and let's just talk about it just a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do one by starting off. I had to wear the KK Psi hat today. November 27th just passed 103 years of service to the college and university band, so I wanted to make sure I represented well today. I ain't put on my shirt. I ain't feel like doing all that kind of stuff. You only get the hat daddy today. So definitely big shout out to KK Psi and Frat. And then man, something really sad happened to me, man. I was really troubled this past week, and I mean some people looking at me like, man, you tripping. You know, for me, I wasn't tripping, man. You know, one of my childhood heroes passed away, man. Jason David Frank. If y'all don't know who Jason David Frank is, man, he was the Green Ranger, he was the White Ranger, he was the Red Ranger on Zeo and Turbo, and he was the Black Ranger on Dino Thunder. And then he made a whole bunch of different appearances and a lot of things. But I am forever, like y'all have heard my phone go off many a times, and the Power Ranger thing happens. I'm forever a Power Ranger fan. I don't care how old I am. I'm forever a Power Ranger fan. So much so that even me and my son, we watch it. The new series, well, Dino Fury just went off, but so that took me out for a couple of days, but I'm good. So yeah, all right, there we go. That was my spiel. I ain't got nothing else for you. Maya, what you got going on, girl? Besides you looking at your phone?
Nothing. It's just been one of those weeks. It's month end.
Okay, well, you getting close to we close to December. Was it tomorrow? Or the day after tomorrow?
No, I think it's only 30 days. Let me see. Yeah, it's only 30 days, so it's tomorrow.
Yeah, see, look at that. We right in December.
Look at right that. On the money.
Yes, sir. All right, Quan, what you got? Anything this past week?
Nah, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that celebrates it. It was my birthday. I just chill with the family, chill with the mama. You did. Really about it, bro.
Man, you said it. Question real quick to everybody: who's still eating the Thanksgiving food?
No.
Nah.
Y'all tripping.
What's today? We about to be in a week.
No. See, I was thinking about this earlier today. I had to go ahead and put this out here. I was really thinking about this. I processed this now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When you go to the grocery store and you shop, do you only leave it in your refrigerator for 2-3 days?
Nah.
We talking about 2 to 3 versus 6.
No. Do you leave when you go to the grocery store and buy regular food? Mm-hmm. Regular food. You got sandwich meat, cheese, bread, all that kind of stuff. You mean to tell me that you keep it in there for about 2 days, 2-3 days, and you done with it?
That's totally different, and those are single ingredients as well.
No, because at the end of the day, your Thanksgiving food is still grocery food at the end of the day.
Oh my God.
Well, so I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends where it comes from.
Food. I done paid for that grocery food. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat it.
It depends where it comes from though, too, bro. It depends where it comes from because no lie, if you shop at Whole Foods after 2 days, that's it.
Yeah, but see, everybody ain't shopping at Whole Foods. Sprouts and Whole Foods, it's tight. Everybody ain't doing that. Some people hit that Walmart that. I ain't saying I hit the Sprouts and the whole food every now and then, but for Thanksgiving, no. When you hit that macaroni, you getting that top-notch cheese. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
Top notch, man.
Yeah.
Please,
Well, yeah,
nah,
some
man.
people-
Please,
we hitting the
you get that government, not
Yeah.
government.
That
Government.
we got that good pool on it. Yeah, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. But no, I look. We went and bought a what was it? One of them roasted chickens from the stove. We went ahead and sliced them daddies up, and we put that with them Thanksgiving sides. We still good. We still rocking. So hey, I'm conservative. I'm
I'm
conservative.
not mad at it.
I'm
That's
saving my
good.
little cash. All right,
Okay.
Coach, what you got, man? What happened with you this past week? Anything, man?
Oh well, shoot. Right now we getting ready for. Well, I even say we, but I'm at this high school, Frederick Douglass High School in OKC now. I'm no longer in the Dallas Metroplex area. I'm in the Oklahoma City area now. So right now, the band I'm with right now, we're going getting ready for the Adolphus Parade in Dallas. So it was a shocking because at first, come in kids like, oh, but this week after rehearsal today, I was like, whoa. It's crazy how like energy can just, as long as you got that energy with the kids, they feed off of it, man. And it's tiresome, but because when I come home, I'll be like, man, oof. But when I'm in the moment, it's just be a burst of energy. But other than that, got to meet my girlfriend family, so everything just been up since I came out here, man.
That's great, man. That's great. That I can talk all day about the band and stuff, but meeting the girlfriend parent, that's where it's getting real. It's getting real.
It got real. It got really
There you go.
real.
Look at you. Look, young boy growing up. I love it.
Oh,
All right, man. Let's bring Portia in here. Hey, sis, what's going on?
Hey, just leaving band practice. Yay!
What you got, cuts?
Yeah, man. They got
What's going on?
Rose Bowl daddy.
We got practice for the Rose Bowl. They doing.
Oh, duh.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
good,
up
cool.
to 4 miles. They got some more miles to go. But yeah, we just got out of practice.
Y'all waking the campus up, huh?
They ain't sleep at 8:00.
Yeah, you right. You ain't never lying.
Right.
As a person that marched that parade, the only thing I can tell you is just keep marching. Once you see the mountains, man, because I never forget, we marched that parade, and the crazy is the Marine Corps band was behind us. Everybody was, crying and throwing up and everything. And the Marine Corps band, as soon as they finished, they was like, they lit a cigarette and was like, first time, we was like, yeah. They was like, we about to go run 10 more miles and eat this In-N-Out burger. Talk to y'all later. It was like, what? Great time, though. We felt like superstars because that band fest, real talk, is the best part. You're going to eat original In-N-Out burgers, which is fire. Time of our lives, bro. Real talk. Shout out to the Marching Stone for us leading that parade.
Okay. All right. Well, he can get you a heads up. I never marched that one. That wasn't during my time at the Ridge. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do say this before I forget. Shout out to Tracy from D2D. They did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Shout out to them, Houston's own. They're doing great things, and one of my students actually performed. That's her mother. Tracy's her mother. So shout out to Cadence because she marched in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and they also had a performance with Benedict College on I guess it was Carnival cruise ship or some type of cruise ship, but they doing some great things around here as a dance line. So shout out to the auxiliary.
Tracy and D2D is doing some like spectacular things, bro. Like they
were going to Italy.
They were at 2 goddamn parades at one time.
Same time, bro.
Same time. I was like, yo, Tracy, you doing big. I'm sitting back being a wife like, Tracy, you doing big things. This is top notch, man. And look, it all starts with a dream, bro. It really all starts with a dream and an idea and the concept, and all you got to do is just continue to be consistent. And man, Tracy is doing some magnificent things, man. So shout out.
Did you see the invitation to Italy?
Yeah,
that they got?
Yeah,
crazy, bro. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
And speaking of invitations, let's talk about this because I did forget to bring this up. I saw Justin and Justice early on Instagram talking about this, and I actually wanted to bring it up. Honda Battle of the Bands. So the announcement for Honda Battle of the Bands has already happened. It's going to be in Alabama at Alabama State University, and the bands that were picked were Virginia State, Texas Southern, Savannah State, Morgan State, Langston, and obviously you cannot march on Alabama State's campus without having Alabama State. I actually think that that's kind of phony. They probably should have put another band in there because they were going to be in there by default. Like that don't make no sense. So first thing I'm gonna say, I gotta say it, and you know, this isn't the beginning of the topics or anything like that, but I have to say it. Shout out to each band program, shout out to those directors, shout out to those students, you know, for them being able to perform at this particular event. You know, I guess it's Honda Battle of Bands, so I guess it's kind of the idea of that's the quote unquote OG big battle of the bands, I guess, for HBCUs. So yes, definitely shout out to them. And I 100% support them and will be supporting it. Here's my caveat to that though. I think it's going to be a snooze fest. And that has absolutely nothing to do with how I feel like the bands perform or anything like that. I just think it's going to be a snooze fest because as of right now, the quote unquote band people are looking at that's on that ballot is Texas Southern. And I'm going to also be honest, in order to make it a wider and broader thing to create more traction, you're going to have to make it a live, not necessarily physical live event, but a live televised event that's going to bring more people into it, more people from the outside to say, what is this? Some people who have absolutely no idea as to what it is, but if you advertise it and you make it an actual televised event, then you're going to add a little bit more attraction to it. But from our perspective and our masses, you can go on social media right now and you can see everybody's like, nah, this is not good. And it's in Alabama. So
outside in Alabama, and I'm sorry, it get cold in Alabama. I'm so glad we doing the one the weekend before that in Atlanta. I don't know what to do because that's gonna be cold. Yeah.
February. Or it's January. It's February,
right? It's in February.
Yeah, so that's like that's real winter at that point, you know. I guess to drop my 2 cents in it, I do appreciate how they're trying to make it diverse, but whatever voting system or vetting process that they did to select those bands, they weren't thinking. I don't know that like they weren't thinking because you have to. Again, like I say, I appreciate the diverse. I think Savannah State. I think this is their 4th appearance. We know that this Virginia State's 10th, but to take it out the venue that we're accustomed to, and this is the first year that it's not in Atlanta. You got to bring out the heavy hitters, bro. You got to bring the Southerns. You got to bring the Jackson States. You got to bring the Norfolks. You got to bring the NCATs. You got to bring the FAMUs, the BCUs. You have to. Just bottom line. And something has to.
The other piece of that is, I'm sorry, Quan. The other piece of that to me is the weather situation. So we playing Russian roulette in February? No.
Right. And I know I'm looking at the comments, that's the same weekend as Mardi Gras. So this is what you're doing. You're fighting Mardi Gras, weather, new venue, and then a week before you got bands performing at the old venue. That's gonna be hard. And maybe that was the selection process overall. Like they know that those bands were occupied, but there's still bands such as the Tennessee States. You know, I don't know if they're doing something, but that could have been an option. And then shout out to them because we're not, in my opinion, Tennessee State is not getting enough traction to say that they won a Grammy. I'm gonna just put that out there as well. I'm just being honest. Honda lost some of its prize. I'm trying to find a word, but it's its mojo over the years, and to return after COVID. This a hard one, bro. This a hard one. This.
Right. And my bad.
Well, go ahead.
Well, because it's like I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Like, with this being the first Honda to come back, we gotta come with heavy hitters. And every band that's on there, looking at, if we really look realistically looking at it, and from my point of view, Texas Southern, Bama, and Langston, those three bands, they got social media presence, people know about them. And I was just talking about this with the band I work with today. It's like networking. If people don't know about your band and don't know about you, we're in a time and day where you have to have a presence on social media. People have to know about you. If your band is not even marketed right, why would people come to see you? Like, and it was a discussion of people was talking about the other battle bands in Atlanta with Southern, Jackson State, Alabama State, and other bands. I can't think of them right now, but I was saying, like, these are bands that have presence. Like, people seen these bands, whether it was their dance team or the band. So it's like, I feel what you're saying. We need to bring some heavy hitters for Honda if this is the year y'all trying to bring it back. And then at Alabama State, in Alabama, and it's cold, man, I don't know. But hey.
So I'm gonna say this. So first of all, I just want to make sure I get this information right. Alabama State has had 7 appearances at Honda. Langston has had 4. This is going to be Morgan's first time. Savannah State has had 7 appearances. Texas Southern has had 3, and like Quan said, Virginia State has had 10. But the other half of that, and the other piece about that, which everybody was saying in the comments, and then Quan brought up as well, is I completely forgot that was during Mardi Gras. You're taking the complete band culture to Mardi Gras. Like, that's where everybody is going, or everybody's going to be focused on for the most part. And I think the other piece that we're also missing is, and I think I saw it somewhere on the Honda, I think it was their Instagram, the people who were on the ballot were the people who allowed themselves to be on the ballot. Everybody was reached out to, and all the directors, from what I read, were reached out, or they corresponded with them, and the people who were on the ballot were the people who were available, which means that I don't remember seeing some of these quote unquote heavy hitters on that ballot. Now I may be wrong. I would have to go back and look just to be sure, but I don't remember seeing too many of them on there in the first
We, I don't, heavy hit or not, we weren't on there. Norfolk wasn't on there ever.
Yeah, so I don't think they were on there, and if they weren't on there, they couldn't have been voted for. So I think that a lot of directors kind of had that forethought of saying, this might not be the move. So
in my opinion, since you moved it from Atlanta, and the majority of these bands would have been in New Orleans, I would have had it in New Orleans.
But see that,
Being honest.
but see, Quan, so I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I was on their Instagram, and I think it was that time when they were talking about the people being on the ballots. I personally sent them a message like, look, what do you need to do to be on the committee? Because I need to be on that committee. Get me on that committee. Because honestly, I remember specifically a time when I went to Honda, and I don't know, I think it was like 05, 06, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And Atlanta froze over. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was just completely frozen. But they moved the date of the performance to another day because Atlanta was frozen. But they had the availability to do that because they had a dome. You can't do that in Alabama. It's tight. So I think that they really just did not truly think this through. And like you said, Quan, it just trickles down from all of the categories. And like I said, I definitely support these programs going and participating, but I also want them to have the best showing possible, right? And be put into the best light, and can do whatever they need to do in the right stage, in the right venue. And it's just crazy to see them, be in this space with so many variables against them. And yes, Yeah, that definitely was happening in 2005. That's that Sunday. That means because man, KK side during that time, boy, that was. I'm sorry, I'm dating myself, but that was that time when side shut down that whole street and shut down the hotel. I think they was kicking people out of the hotel at the same time. Man, it was crazy. It was crazy during that time. Anyway, but go ahead, Quan. Say what you gonna say, bro.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, I think being honest with the influence of social media, podcasts, and whatnot, they need to start reaching out to Justin, us, Crucial Conflict, because we're talk. A lot of us are the voice of the people, and so those committees, I know they have financial backing and so forth and so on, but they really need, if they really want to push Honda to what it was. Y'all remember it was like people were fighting to get to Honda. Like you say that 05, I'm gonna say to about 08, 09. I think when Southern made their first appearance, that's when Honda was Honda. When Norfolk made their first appearance, it was like as a historical black college band, a rite of passage to say, man, I went to Honda. Because we used to get them bags and we used to walk around and be like, man, that boy got a Honda bag, and of course the gifts got better and better. But that was when Honda was Honda. If you really came out this time after COVID, Honda should have been adjudicated. Real talk, that would have been different. And I would have put it in New Orleans because those other bands that are already there, you're working with them, showing them like, hey, we know y'all getting y'all bag marching these parades. We don't want to take that away from you, but still come to Honda. And those people that's following them, to see that, they're going to flock to that already. I mean, that's a win-win, bro. But who am I?
Yeah, I'm about to say, what do we know, right? We just some old dudes and band directors. We don't got no skin in the game. We don't know nothing. But yeah, that was, I wanted to make sure I brought that up because I know that's one of the biggest things that's circulating through our space right now, and we got to have that conversation. So I want to make sure that we did that. All right, man, let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. We kind of had a pre-topic before the topic, so let's start it off. And I should have recorded that whole thing. I didn't even record it for the actual podcast, because I don't ever hit the record button until we get to the topic. So my bad. I can find a way to cut that in there.
Bro, you need to start doing that because that could be on the Patreon.
Hey man,
who am I though? Who am I?
Anyway, let's start from the beginning, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy early. Let's go ahead and get these likes up now. Do not wait. Get it done now. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode, except for that, the beginning of the stuff that we talked about with Honda, will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. All right, man. So this week and last week has been a crazy and interesting week, to say the least. A lot of things have been going on, and I wanted to make sure that we tried to talk about it as much as possible. And one of the things that I want to get to right off the back, Kunta put up something on his page, and I wanted to read it, and then I wanted him to kind of break it down just a little bit, and then from there I'm gonna ask the topic question. But he put, I think as HBCU band heads, it's time we have this quote unquote cranking and sounding good, quote unquote, end quote, debate, because man, and I thought that stood out a lot to me. So Kunta, go ahead and elaborate on that and just give us your thoughts on what you were speaking about.
So what I was speaking about, I know this is gonna hurt some feelings, but it's coming from the heart. So what I meant in that status, let me go to the beginning that led up to it. So recently, have y'all watched the battle between Bethune and FAMU, right? So, I love crank. I grew up around it. That was in the culture, but I still had an ear for what sound good and what don't. Looking at the FAMU battle, and I'm like, everybody have their top fives or who the best band in the swag, who do. But when I listened to FAMU and Bethune, it was like, man, it's boring, but man, they sound beautiful. That especially, I think it's called Balenciaga Fanfare from FAMU. Oh my god! And it's like it's starting to ring to me where it's like, okay, I'm starting to understand both sides of the argument now. Where on the cranking side of it, it was like, okay, you got arrangements where you're doing runs that leads to a climax, blah 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 blah. Cool, I get that, and it's can't lie, it do give me chills. But then you have the other side where the family and you know what I'm saying, Bethune, where it's like, man, they sound good, like really, really good, but man, it don't give me that chill feeling that this other side of the spectrum give me. You know what I mean? And that's what I was getting into it because I was like, man, I think it's time for us to have this conversation where, yes, it sounds good, but we still getting that same feeling that we get from having a climax when we listen to Cranking. And it's like both sides, it's like I get both sides of the argument now. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing it because where people will look at FAMU and Bethune and say, oh, they sorry. Da, 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 da. I look at them like, man, those some solid programs, dog. I can't. At first, when I was younger, I was like, man, I can't get into it. But more and more I start listening to it, I'm like, bro, it's 12 bands in the swag. And I'm like, look, how these two bands right here ain't on everybody's list? Because they hitting the checkbox, but in my eyes, the only checkbox they not hitting, and I can't really say that about Bethune because Bethune have some good shows. So it's like, is they really being entertaining? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant about the status. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting to the point. Yeah, it's cranking, but it just don't sound good, bro. It don't. It. Granted, I'm not gonna say Cranky never did because there's been bands in the past that they sound good and they crank. Oh good lord. But now it's just getting to a point where, especially on an arranging tip, everybody want to write all these, AVAs, all these runs, triplets, sextuplets, everything that leads into nothing. It's just a whole big blah. It's like it's not even like what you used to tell me at PV. It's not telling a story. And I'm starting to notice that more and more, especially now I'm working with high school and I'm working with the kids, and I'm like, it's just sound. And I don't think a lot of people's understanding that. You know what I mean? Where they'll look at sounding good as a PWI sound. Like, since when a sound have a label on it? You know what I mean?
Let me say this before we get into this. It's really, as an educator, it feels good when the light finally comes on, right? Because
Right.
we know between me and Brown, they had a lot of conversations in front of that and that band room on that podium about the exact same thing that you're talking about right now. But it feels real good to be able to hear you say that. But let me also put this into comparison, right? Like the Bayou. And let me start out by saying, when it comes to the Bayou, just the format that they were doing, because it was kind of like R&B and then a rap daddy right after that, which I understood and could respect what they were trying to do from that perspective. So shout out to them for trying to make those adjustments and do something different and trying to step out a little bit and just say, all right, we're gonna change the format to try to appease different people and not just play rap daddies all day. But when I listened to it, I just heard loud the whole time. And I really just kind of heard loud trying to out loud the loud. And that's just kind of where I sat and I heard it from. And so when you're having these conversations, or when you're talking about that, even when I read your post, in my personal opinion, I just kind of felt like, or I kind of feel like at this point, people can't tell the difference. There are too many people out there who are saying the loud sounds great. They sound great. I don't know. It's just loud to me. And yes, you're absolutely right. There are people, or there are groups who can crank it up and still sound good at the same time. So the first question that I have, that we're going to get into, we're going to start with Quan. We can go to the right. When it comes to this thing called cranking, and well, let me make sure I say it right. Cranking and sounding good. Have the lines become blurred now? Are the lines blurred when we talk about cranking and sounding good?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The lines have been blurred. I think it's been blurred more and more, especially with the inclusion of and adding social media. Because now the loudest, it's funny, the loudest person with the loudest voice has the loudest opinion. Um, and I think we've all had a light bulb moment, um, where it was like, yeah, bro, we getting like a little too far with it, you know. Um, I'm looking at it from this perspective because today was our first day back for some Houston schools, because we had an extra 2 days for whatever reasons. So we had an extra 2 days off for Thanksgiving break.
It was something going down in the city, Portia.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but
She was looking like,
we
oh,
enjoyed
really?
it. Yeah. So but nevertheless though, we had those 2 days, and of course, as an educator, when you come back from a break, your kids, for the most part, they stink, because they ain't been on their horn for about a week and a half or whatever. And just having the conversations, and I'm blessed with my students to have a musical ear and discernment. Like when we sit down, because you'll see my head down, I'm score studying for our UIL pieces and blending and checking things and focusing on balance. My kids, they were playing, and I was like, okay, who has the melody, y'all? And it was like the trumpets. Okay, so who should be the loudest? The trumpets. Who has the harmony? We're going through this now. And I'm gonna just brag on myself a little bit. I don't do it much, but I can really teach. So when your kids regurgitate your philosophy, you're teaching. And not all bands, let me be clear, not all bands, I don't feel like all band directors are teaching. And that's just the bottom line, because they're gonna be, I was always taught a band is gonna be a replication of you. Now, that may not be your standard that you want them at that moment, but they're going to replicate you. There are some great bands that are out there. However, my issue is, who has the melody? Who has the harmony? Who has the counter melody? If we're using perpetual motion for this arrangement, how can we bring this out? How can we have dynamic contrast? Those are the conversations that I want to have. And as an educator, as Brother Kunta was saying, that's the part that gives me chills when we have those aspects. Now, to another person, they may just be like, hey, blow that hoe. Because sometimes real talk, that's necessary. Like, we have to be honest. When Southern played, and I told this to Julian, when Southern played Holy Grail, I guess it was the first time, that gave me chills. But also what gives me chills is when Bethune-Cookman played Amazing Grace, though, I believe at 07 Honda. That gave me chills as well. You see what I'm saying? When you speak about chord progressions, 13th, 11 extensions, that's what, so you're doing it for everybody. Furthermore, I would like to add, we have to be careful of what we're putting out there that's a quote unquote a representation for HBCU bands. That also matters too. I.e., when, I don't think I said it public, but I'm gonna say it now. 07 Honda, when Norfolk came out, if you was the band in the back, you felt some type of way. I'm gonna just put it out there. You felt some type of way because they were cranking, but it was clear. Let's be honest. For this Pepsi Battle of the Band, like the first year that it happened, Norfolk was one of the best sounding bands that was there. Period. They have Bite, they have Attack. This recent when y'all played what's that Drake mix y'all had? That y'all played at the beginning of this year.
Over.
Did y'all hear that woodwind run in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what in my opinion musicians should get excited for. But I'm gonna just say it like this: in the SWAC, we have a lack of musical diversity. Everybody sounds the same for the most part. And everybody, in my opinion, we're just gonna keep it a thou wow. Everybody's reaching for Southern. So that's some of the issues that we're dealing with. Everybody, for the most part, is reaching for Southern. And because you're fighting someone else's fight and you don't know yourself, then those lines get blurred too. Because if you don't have those type of trumpets or that type of trumpet section, now you're overblowing. Now you're overcompensating and changing the timbre of the instrument for what it wasn't intended for. Brother Kuntal also spoke about arranging. There's certain again, this is an education show. Y'all can get this edition right here. I keep it on my desk. This edition right here. It speaks about the optimum range of an instrument. Once you go past that aspect, then your instrument may become too what's called shrill. And then now it's automatically out of tune. But again, all I'm saying is we have to start teaching our students, because now the younger generation of arrangers, because they're arranging on finale, and it may sound great on finale, but then you put it, on that piccolo that's playing 2 octaves above, and now you cutting through the band, and then that particular note is already sharp, and then you're not teaching them to roll out or roll in, so now we super out of tune. But I'm just a band director, and that's how I feel.
All right. Let me just say this. For some reason, every time you bring up that 07 Honda, I'll be sitting up here like, yeah, I know. And I guess that's because that was the last one I gave out. So hey,
bro, no lie, dog, no lie. We was back there. Even Prof Ed was like, damn, I'm telling you, bro, like that was y'all was in y'all bag, and we just was like, bruh, like them boys ain't even playing with y'all. Like we came to kick butt and chew bubble gum, and we ain't got no bubble gum. Just saying, bro. Y'all deserve it.
Hey man, I appreciate it. But like I said, anytime it's not just you. Anytime somebody brings it up, I always gotta, kind of sit back like, yeah, I know we was killing. But I mean that in all fairness, that we didn't do anything different than what we normally would do anyway. And to just give you guys a real insight before I go on to Maya, we were actually supposed to do something else coming on the field. We never marched on the field ever. And we had been practicing marching on the field to set up for our show.
And that shit was trash.
It wasn't necessarily trash. It was just different than what we had ever done before. And it was just weird. So before we got on the field, right before we got on the field, matter of fact, I think it was right before we came out of the tunnel. Twan, the head drum manager at the time, came to us, was like, yo, we not marching on the field. We doing what we do. That's just, it is what it is. We gonna do what we do, and we just gonna rock out. And we was like, hell yeah, Twan, hell yeah. And then we just did our thing. But no, I definitely agree with you. I mean, that Honda show, and Rick has said it multiple times, and I'm sorry, I have to agree with him. One of the best HBCU style shows to ever be done in the field that does not have a clear recording at all. You cannot find a clear recording of that show.
I got the DVD, bro.
But the DVD phony because it's not the full show. It's
not.
It's the recording that we did,
right?
And some B-roll behind it, and I'm like, that's not the show.
But it's kind of like you have to be there to feel it, though.
Yeah,
like no lie, bro. I'm gonna leave. Keep going, bro. I'm gonna just leave it at that. We was in the back, bro. Like God, and then we went right after.
Yeah, I know.
All right, bro. All right, that's enough now. That's enough. All right. I like black folks take things too far. No. I didn't give you props. Don't act like I'm just all right.
No,
all right, bro.
No. See, because now I one hand wash the other. With the first year that PV did the Honda, I was there with Sai, my chapter of Sai, and I was like, yo, PV's gonna come out here and kill it. Like they gonna kill it, and y'all killed it. So hey, like I said, man, one hand wash the other, man. I gave y'all love, it wasn't what we did, but it was still dope though. It was still dope. It was y'all killed it, man. Good job.
Black people and flies, I do despise. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, Maya. Are the lines blurred now? Cranking versus sounding good.
I mean, well, I don't really know what much else there is to add. I mean, Quan literally took it from the left end of the spectrum all the way to the right. The little nugget that I was going to add was, I think lack of identity has a lot to do with it. But I mean, Quan also covered that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, of course, you're getting out of pocket because now you're trying to fulfill somebody else's fantasy, or what you think that fantasy entails. And so, of course, everything gonna go out the window. Everything's gonna go haywire. I've done it. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand firsthand, and I really think that there are multiple factors, of course, that have gotten us to this place now of blurred lines. So to answer that question, yes, I absolutely do think so. I think part of it is the vision being blurred, right? So from the top down, who's in charge, and them not having a clear, not necessarily respect, but a clear vision or a clear ability to communicate that. Is a portion of it, but I think a larger, maybe not a larger portion, but a very large factor has to do with people just not being able to be themselves or being secure within themselves and letting that do the work.
Okay. Kunta, let's get you in here, man. Let's get your thoughts. I know that you kind of started us off, but let's get your thoughts on this. So the line's blurred now. Cranking versus sounding good.
Yeah. The lines is blurred, man. Because when you look at everything, I'm gonna compare two battles that went on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna compare the Florida battle, and then I'm gonna compare the Bayou. When people looked at the Florida battle, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's boring. Oh, nobody don't want to look at that." So in the casual eye, I guess it's boring to them. Now we go over here to the Bayou Classic. Oh, they sound like Southern, sound like whatever, sound like Dookie, sound like poop. So now you got two different styles of band going on, where you got, like what you said, one side is trying to out loud, and then you got another side trying to out sound good. You feel me? But the sound good side, everybody like, oh, that's boring. But now the cranking side is starting to be like, oh, that's trash. So now it's getting to a point, there's no middle point, you know what I'm saying, between just to mesh one good style with it. And I'm gonna look at the Norfolk battle from 07. I'm gonna have to do my studying, man. Man, because it's getting blurred, and it's like I agree, Doc. Like when I listen to every other band, I'm just like, it sounds the same. It's no variety. And I remember when I was coming up, number one era of band I love looking at is from that 2000 all the way up into that 2009 era of band. Because I always said, like for me, and this may be, a big topic, but when I looked at 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was building up to be what the thousands was. And the thousands was just it just blew up for everybody's bands, no matter who it was. And now it just got to the point where I don't know, it's just no middle point no more, man. Like cranking just like I just be like, oh my God, they sound like a horrible Southern, and it's not even a good Southern. But I would say some more stuff, but it's blurred, and I agree, it's really blurred. Like just because you sound good, is it boring? And just because you love cranking, do we have to tolerate it sounding like booty? So yeah, it's blurred, man. It's blurred.
All right, Portia. Are the lines blurred now? Cranking and sounding good.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I think we all know that they're blurred. I think that culturally, though, people aren't willing to say that. People are, it's loud, and I don't really want to go against the grain. That's why we get so much flack, because we say the stuff people want to say but too scared to say. It's blurred, and it just loud don't sound good all the time. And I don't care how you slice it, who doing it, the kings, whoever, the queens, whoever. It all that don't sound good. And I think my next question would be, how do we fix it? Because to Quan's point, the people, I don't know how we got here, but a lot of people that's band heads now are, how can I say this politically correct? They just voices. Their opinion is really based on what they like and not experience itself. I'm gonna say that. So they've, started to have a louder voice than those people who have experience, is how I'll say that. So if that's what they like, I don't know that it's gonna change, because that's what gets views and likes and all that other kind of stuff. But what is it doing for the culture?
Oh, go ahead, Quan. You got it.
No, I was. So this has to be said. A few many shows back, we spoke about protecting the culture, but we have a lack of respect for the people that truly are in the trenches. In my opinion, for those that may not truly understand what cranking is, because we have subjectivity to everybody in their opinion. What's cranking to me is like 95 Southern. That's my favorite Southern. If you go listen to Cold Hearted Snake that they're playing when they debuted it, that's cranking. If you go listen to I believe it's like 1978 FAMU, when they're playing Earth, Wind and Fire Getaway on the dance field, that's cranking. 07 Norfolk, that's cranking. 09 Norfolk with Dirty Diana, that's cranking. Aspects of PV, cranking. Like my thing is, you can crank with control, but once you start to get outside of the box and you start dealing with when you start dealing with the trying to be something that you're not, then I feel like that's when you lost. Like let's be real. I think maybe you, Julian, or Rick at the time said on the show, you was like, to be this loud for the Legion, we need more players, because we're not going to outplay and take things above this, or we're not going to bring our volume to this. You see what I'm saying? That's being true to yourself. And I think FAMU, they're true to themselves. The problem is now with the internet, we feel that to get a true buzz or to recruit like we feel like we should, we have to be like this particular school. And I'm going to say it, Southern. The truth is Southern doesn't have to recruit. They don't. From their marketing team and strategy, real talk, I don't think Southern actually has to recruit. The name alone, in my opinion, is going to bring those kids there. Kudos to them. But for those that, have to recruit and be, do things different, if you're not true to yourself, then where's your musical integrity? Because here's the truth. To kind of answer your question, Portia, the only way we're going to change that is if people like myself, Julie, and Rick, we're going to have to honestly build a school 9 out of 10. That's what's going to have to happen. We'll have to build a school. And I say that because these larger schools, we know that people die in them seats. That's number one. And then number two, most of the same schools hire the same people. So don't be surprised if, you see Quano at a school and have to build it up, such as like a Talladega or something like that. And then it'd be like, oh, I see the way he's doing it. That makes sense. That's the only way, in my opinion, that you actually change it. Or people got to start protecting these real music educators that are in the trenches.
So, and Quan, I know that we had that conversation kind of, offline and on the phone. And we could really dive into that and talk about some of the stuff that we talked about, which would take a whole another hour. And if I choose to do so, we probably will, but we'll see. But I do have this thing that I wanted to say, right? Like I'm gonna come from a different perspective. I don't even think that we have a diversity in sound and music just in general, right? Like there's many different forms of jazz. I mean, I don't care how you slice it. There are many different forms of jazz. There are many different eras of what we would call classical music. I mean, classical music is only an era from the classical period, but then you had different eras and different periods, right? But the point is, all of them had their particular styles and sounds. My problem is that and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Quan or some of the New Orleans folks in the chat. See, there you go. But rest in peace. But no, so I gotta throw it out there. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Dr. Graves, when he decided to really try to build that Southern sound, he kind of built it on New Orleans brass band. Am I correct on saying that? Am I somewhere around in the ballpark of that? So my only issue is everybody can't be a New Orleans brass band when it comes to marching band. Let somebody have that. All right. Is somebody going to be bebop? Is somebody going to be fusion? Like there are different variations of what these sounds are. And nobody, and I ain't gonna say nobody, but it's not too many people taking that risk to step outside of that. Everybody wants to be big band. I mean, second line, brass band. Sorry, everybody wants to be that. But I want to see the diversity and the variety in the sound, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I think that a lot of people keep harping on is the fact that once again everybody sounds alike. But how do you compare that though? And I think the other half of that is, and I appreciate what NSU Legion said. As a culture, we do like stuff loud and in our face and entertaining. That doesn't mean that we can't have a diversity in sound. I can listen to an R&B song loud. I can jam some Carl Thomas in my room. You know what I'm saying? Or I can jam some Yin Yang Twins. There's two totally different feels and different diversities of music, but I can still jam them, and I appreciate them both for what they do. But if I'm just and I don't even know exactly what it is, but if I'm just listening to drill music all day, I don't know what is drill music. By the way, I'm not trying to be funny.
It's like the new gangster music.
Gotcha.
But it's based out of like a Chicago, New York with Chief Keef, and then
gotcha.
But it's a different type of drill. Yeah.
I didn't know exactly what it is, but if I just listen to that all day, then what am I really saying about who I am as a person? What am I really saying about what I like to ingest and invest in and what I appreciate as far as music? But then these people who are listening to drill music are the same people who are going out judging bands. That doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of where my mindset goes sometimes. But go ahead.
So I got two things. I do agree with what KB is saying. He's like, musicians enjoy musicality and precision. Most fans enjoy entertainment, the value of like that's it though. But the unfortunate part about it is, at one point, like playing Earth, Wind, and Fire Getaway was the current drill. Now, my thing is, we have a 50-song book, and out of 47 songs is your drill. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why we were saying earlier this year, we were appreciative of Alcorn playing the Power Rangers theme. Like, that's my thing. Like,
Rest in peace.
yeah, okay. Like, that's why people were excited when Texas Southern played the Snarky Puppy. Like, it's the attempt of trying it. Like, that's where I feel like things are lacking overall. So it's not about, because like let's be real. In the 90s, the Human Jukebox, you really couldn't prepare for their book. Like them boys will mess around and play a fanfare, then they'll play a march, then they'll play the current pop tune, then they'll play an old school. Like, you couldn't really prepare. But I feel like band directors had that integrity to where they was like, man, we can't outdo them. Let me just do me. And I think that was a more exciting time. That's my point for that. But two, I want to ask, like, the ladies, do you feel like there's a lack of diversity from the auxiliary too? Ain't nobody gonna answer you, boy.
Yeah, I was waiting for
What do you
somebody.
mean by that? Let me make sure I'm clear on what do you mean by that?
Like, so, all right, so from the band point of view, we're basically saying, like, okay, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like, do all the teams look alike, or are they doing the same thing?
Yeah.
I would typically say yes. However, coming off of this season alone, my mind is being changed, right? Because I think we're in a good spot this season amongst, I won't say all, but a lot of the teams, right? So I think that this was a defining moment in auxiliary culture for people kind of standing in who they are, what they want to be, and pushing that out. So yes and no. If this was 2021 and back, then I would say yes. But coming off of this season, no, ish.
I agree. It's gotten better this year. The last 2 years, couple years before COVID, I was like, ooh, child, everybody looked the same. I don't know what's going on. But I think we've seen some things that have stood out to me, and which made me notice teams that I've never noticed before. So that's a great thing. I think we still should be pushing the envelope and staking claim to who you are and what you want to portray for yourself as an auxiliary unit. I have seen some good stuff this season from a couple of groups, so I will say that. But in the past years, I was like, "Ooh, child, we this one unit, just merge them all together." So, yeah, it's getting better for us. Now, I don't see that happening with band, because I think that's a runaway freight train, and I don't know how you stop that. But for auxiliary, I see us moving in a better direction.
And I'm gonna be quiet after this, Julian, but it's picking at me, I guess. But my question is, what did the ladies do that some of these band directors are not? If that's the case, if you're leading towards diversity.
Well, one thing Edwin said is new direction. The other thing is that I think they figured out that us trying to be somebody else won't quite working for us. That's the only thing I can think, because you've been doing everybody else. So something shifted this year that made you say, hey, maybe we should do this. This is our strength. I do think new leadership helps shake things up. But all of these squads don't have new leadership, and new leadership by itself doesn't go well because there's a squad out there that I'm kind of like, ooh, what's going on with y'all this year? And they got new leadership. So yeah. So I think some of them though are realizing that that's not us, and we're not doing that well. So let's do us and do that well.
I typically, because I was going to ask another question, but I want to address this, and I typically don't do this, but it's such a good question that I want to address it. Industry Legion in the comments asks, how serious should band be musically? Your job in most programs is to entertain the crowd and paraders. Should band be a serious music form? If so, how serious? So I actually have two responses to that question, and anybody can kind of pick up with that. But my response to that is, one, I think that whenever you pick up your instrument, you always want to try to produce the best sound possible. It doesn't matter if you are on the stage or if you are marching up and down the field. You always want to create the best quality sound possible. But the other half of that is that I think that when you start talking about historically black colleges and universities and those band programs, we are historically competitive in that particular arena. And so you always want to put your best foot forward, and you always want to try to do whatever it is in that competitive space. When you're looking at PWIs, they're not necessarily competitive in that aspect. They go and they have a great time, and even if they decide to get competitive, it may be a little jab here and there during a field show or something like that. If you've ever watched an Ohio State, a halftime performance, they may throw a little jab at the other school or something like that. But in totality, they are really exactly what they're supposed to be used for, which is the entertainment factor for the football team, so on and so forth. Whereas we have always and more or less historically been a lot more competitive. And so because of that, we want to, yes, entertain, but we also want to do what we can do to try to best the next program, whatever that looks like. And in my personal opinion, if you're an ensemble, because you are a musical ensemble, you don't want to get on stage and just be like, all right, well, just go for it, just blow balls to the wall, right? For some reason, and I think I said this to Quan before, on the phone, for some reason, we treat the field as approach to music and ensemble etiquette different than we do the stage. No, the way that you approach your instrument is the way that you approach your instrument all the time. You just have to know what it takes to be able to create the certain sound that you want. But if to me, it doesn't make any logical sense that you can completely play out of tune and be comfortable with it in the stands and on the field, but then you try to sit down and you try to talk about balance, blend, and intonation and do it. That doesn't make, to me, that doesn't compute. Your thought process would be the same in both arenas.
Can I say something? As somebody who is in the trenches, as much time as we spend in practice, it is serious. And if you're spending that much time in practice to just go have fun, that's a waste of time. If I just want to show up and go have fun, I don't have practice for the club. I don't have practice for stuff that requires no forethought, no input, no structure. If we want to show up and just have fun, then there's no need to be practicing every day, blood, sweat, and tears. So anything that you invest that much time is automatically serious. And to Julian took it, but that's what I was going to say. Marching band is still a class and an ensemble. So if you wouldn't say jazz band or any of the other ensembles are not that serious, you wouldn't. So why is marching band? Because what, it's a larger group? Because we're playing in outside venues? No, it's still an ensemble that has goals and should have milestones that they want to meet. And anything that we do, I say it all the time, the students should be better at the end of it. So if there's a educational goal involved, it is that serious.
Shoot, piggyback on what y'all just said, it's serious, and you have to look at it like when you look at college band in general, high school, middle school, and elementary. All three of these elements look up to college band. So of course you have to set a standard because I can just I'll use an example for football. Everybody look at the NFL. Everybody just looks what Cam does, what Odell does. You know, the kids will look what they see and be like, "Oh yeah, I know I can probably catch a ball, Heisman, do like that." They look at this product because this is, the highest level of football. So when it comes down to college, this is the highest level of marching band. So of course, people have to put on I'm just saying, but you have to put on a show where not only, because I'll just like you said earlier in the night, we can listen to something that's loud and we love it loud, but it also have to be pleasable to the ear as well, you know? So of course, it's good to entertain the crowd, but at the same time, you have to sound good and pleasable to the ear at the same time.
So two things. One to Julian's point when he said the approach from the field and stands should be, parallel, right? But then that goes to knowing the field and staging. And then one thing that I was taught by Dr. Zachary is your field show should be married to your music. But that's hard to do when you're just doing step twos. You feel what I'm saying? Because in your mind, you can visually see it, but it may not align with the music that you have. So because of that, you're doing where certain parts where honestly you want to push the sound to the crowd, they may be moving backwards. Well, we know that's science. That means that sound go backwards, right? So that's one point. And then two, if we don't start to gain our pride back that we represent a nation of people for our culture, like we get mad, bro, when other people talk about us. But I go back to the Bill Cosby analogy. What are we presenting to the world? My mama always told me, even to this day, when you walk out in the world, you represent me. So you can't be mad. And it's not about pleasing other people, but it's about the representation of you. My band director, he was actually a member of the marching band at Southern in the 60s. He was under Dr. Freeman. They used to go to class, bro, in suits and ties. He was like, we had a different sense of black pride about us, and when the afros came out, he was like, you wanted your afro to be the biggest, but the neatest. Like you had a sense of pride when you step out. When we go because of social media now, what are we representing when people see us? Not to please them, but what do they say? Like, it's a certain type of pride that no matter what stage you set on, you're literally saying, I'm the best though. And I think we're losing that because we want certain things microwavable. No knock to any young arranger, but there's certain things. I'm in fraternities and whatnot. There's certain things you gotta endeavor through and cross, not just put it on finale. There's certain hardships that you gotta push through to be like, yes, I'm a GOAT. And I'm gonna end with this. That's another thing that we use the term GOAT and legends too easy for a lot of people that haven't earned it. Everybody that know me personally, I don't brag on myself. I want other people to brag on me. And when they do, I'll be like, nah, that's cool. Because I feel like when you brag on yourself, God will take it away from you. But me personally, we in the trenches doing this work every day to get these kids a better opportunity for school. But when they leave these our ensembles, they should be we should be teaching them to be the best student once they enter that band. From a musical perspective, from an emotional point of view, as well as from a leadership, they should be leaders of men and women once they transition out. That's what it's about.
I want to, and I agree with all of you guys. And I want to say one thing, and then we got to move on because we haven't even gotten to topic number 2 yet. But just to address one more time, one more again, what NSU Legion is saying, he's for the most part, kind of proven the point, right? Because he said for a long time the Michigan marching band director was a symphonic band director, the marching band was a symphonic band, and that changed the dynamics of their sound completely. But that is exactly what we're talking about, right? Because most of these people who are in front are really just marching band directors. My phone just went off. But they're marching band directors. But it doesn't translate well. Or to me, in my personal opinion, it becomes disingenuous when you try to sit them down and you're like, all right, now let's play concert. Play in this particular style. Or play this particular way. It's disingenuous because you don't translate one thing from the other. You try to separate them like they're two totally different entities. And I also think that also limits your literature that you play as well. Because you only know the thing that your marching band director told you or taught you. And you don't have, or you haven't gone out to acquire different knowledge, and you haven't even played some of the things that you're asking your kids to play. So then it becomes, to me, in my personal opinion, a difficulty on how to teach it. So like I said, I think there's a lot of things that can be embodied in this, and we can spend all day talking about it, talking about this same thing. But we got to move on. We got to go to the next topic. So let's do it the right way. Let's start it from the top. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy. Let's go ahead and get these likes up right now. Don't even wait. If you're just walking in the room, go ahead and smash it right now. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. So here we go. Next topic. This was kind of brought up by something that me and Quan were talking about behind closed doors, and it kind of ties into the same thing that we're talking about a little bit. So if I'm not mistaken, it's Jackson and Southern in the SWAC championship tournament thingy. And Quan definitely put it out there. He was like, man, it's not even that many people talking about it. It's not like people are excited about it, you know. So much so that it kind of made me go back and look at, or we just kind of talked about the Bayou. And it ties into the same thing that we were just talking about, but we're going to get a little deeper in this. We've been hearing the loud conversation for a long time. All the rap daddy conversations, because we've been getting a lot of rap daddies lately. So the question is, are people getting tired of the same old thing? Rest in peace. Are people getting tired of the same? If it goes off and y'all hear it, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna say it every time. But are people getting tired of the same old thing? Portia, let's start with you.
Me, I'm people. I'm tired. It's me. Pick me. I'm tired. I want to see different stuff. That's why been so excited about the stuff I've been seeing from the auxiliaries, because it's different. I just, it's kind of like you watch the same thing over and over and over. I used to, after games on Sunday, I would spend part of my day catching up on other band programs. And I'm going to tell you, like halfway through the season, I stopped doing it. Because it's like, I don't know the songs. I'm gonna be real. I don't know the rap songs. The only ones I know is the ones that the kids that the Legion put in the dance routine or the kids play. I don't know these songs, but I would be able to appreciate it if it sounded good and just wasn't loud. The stuff just be loud. So after like 5 or 6 songs, I'm like, Lord Jesus, I need to go turn. I just don't want no sound for the rest of the day because it's just been loud. Yeah, I'm tired. And Legion, NSU Legion, I am getting old. I am getting old, but I like what I like. I still can listen to and love a ballad. I still can listen to and love something that sounds good. But to me, everything is just loud, and I'm tired of that. I want to see people take on and do different stuff. I can't even tell you how excited I was when we were in Houston and I could hear the Woodwinds and Southern's band. Oh my God, write it down. Let's keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Like, just try different stuff, try new stuff. And that's across yes, give me quiet. That's how I felt after listening to that stuff all day. Like, no, I can't. I don't even do it no more. I listen for the highlights. Most of the time, y'all will tell me what happened on here, and then I'll go listen to see if I want to. But I'm for real. I do not want to have to listen to this through that mess to find something good. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm tired. I'm the people. I'm tired. But who am I?
I can tell you now, it took me 3 days to listen to the Bayou from beginning to end.
You see what I'm saying? Because you need a break.
And it took me a week and a half to get through the Jackson and Alcorn video, fifth. Then I didn't even watch the halftime. I was through. All right. Maya, are people getting tired of the same old thing?
I mean, yes, I think so. So I've been thinking about this a couple different ways, right? So I think the true band heads of like the true band head, Swack Hour, Miak Hour, whomsoever Howard, having folks of the world. I think that when you feel so strongly about something and it's just not the same anymore, and you just kind of forced to that point where it's like, this is not what I fell in love with. It's hard to stay steadfast. It's hard to stay with it and in it. So I think a portion of it is that because a lot of us long for what we grew up on or what we knew to be the quote unquote culture. And I think that it'll never quite be that again for many reasons. So I think that people are tired of that. I think the fact that when we talk about creativity, innovation, and things of that nature from a very large scale, I think persons are tired of being able to say, oh, Bethune coming. Okay, they're going to do this into this into this and this. Boom, we already know they show. Ain't no need for me to watch it because I already know what they're going to do, right? I think there's a portion of that. But I also think that social media has a lot to do with it as well, right? So we're no longer in the days where if you want to see something, you have to dig in your pockets. You got to figure out how to travel and get to where you need to be, wherever. I ain't got to leave my house. I ain't got to go to nobody's airport, get nobody's car or whatever to consume this culture. It's going to be right here in front of me. It's not necessarily brainwashed, but I mean, it's fast money. I'm going to get it anyway. So it's just kind of like okay, let me be clear. This came from me thinking that you're asking or saying that a lot of people aren't really talking about Jackson and Southern being, it's basically like Boombox number 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying in that regard, I don't think people are that excited because they don't have to go to the event. It doesn't have to be, whether it's publicized or not, it does not have to a lot of butts in the seats for people to still consume that energy or still consume that culture. So those are just all the different ways that I thought about it.
That's definitely a different perspective. And I honestly didn't think about it from that standpoint. Some people like, well, I already went to the Boombox. I don't got to go to the second one. I can just watch it on YouTube, Daddy.
I mean, Garrett is going to give me what I need literally, if not live, 2 seconds after live. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be Justin. Just because
that too. Well, I said Garrett because I was thinking.
Well, yeah, I know. But it ain't even
sure.
It ain't going to be either one of them. It's going to be, what's my man? Showtime Webb?
Yep.
Because he'll hit the live Daddy in a minute.
Or who is it? Mr. UG MSC 1999, something like that. if Jackson gonna be around, he for damn sure gonna be he or she is for damn sure gonna be in the spot.
Coulter, are people getting tired of the same old thing?
Most definitely. So to piggyback up what is it, NSU Legion said, when it comes down to rap music, and this is where I'm coming from with it. Back in the gap, and I'm 2014, that's where I crabbed. But I'm built off of the 2008, 2007 era of band. So during that time, when you had rap music, it was rap music that was nostalgic. It was rap music that, gave you musical sense in a way. Now you have ABC Elmo and all these other rappers that, you don't even know about or even understand because there's so many different rap tunes to the point the general listener will be like, I don't know what that song is. And it's getting to the point where it's just loud, 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 loud. People want to hear variety. People want to hear actual music. So when people looked at Boombox Part 2 and you already turned off of the Boombox Part 1.5 and you just like, I don't know about this, man, because it was just a whole lot of hoopla versus hoopla. And I ain't going to say the battle is just bad because, there's parts of the battle I was like, oh, yeah, they smashing. But then there's a lot of parts of the battle I was like, I don't know about all that. So it's, in my eyes, until stuff change, shot doom boom is going, it's the same thing over and over. So
yeah, extensive. Every song got a tuba break at this point. Every song got a tuba break. You could be playing Sweet Love and it got a tuba break somewhere in there. I'm sorry. Quan, are people getting tired of the same old thing?
It depends who the people is. Do the people want the song? That's just how I look at it. If you're speaking about fan heads, yeah. I mean, they're not tired. They're eating. But if you're speaking about people, like, for example, like, Julian, like we speak about as African Americans, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We speak about that. But it's funny how a minority, in regards of music, we lack diversity. Like, I remember, man, first of all, going to a HBCU game back in the day was something special. That's number one. Number two, to truly hear the band live, that was special. And number three, not knowing what they were playing made you go research the song. Now, in certain instances, we lack that, right? But also, if we're going to be honest, most rap, not all, but most rap sounds the same. So how can you have diversity when a lot of the flows, the delivery sound the same, right? But then also, I only heard a few non-returnables this year. And we know non-returnables is one of them that's like, all right, bro, you lost. Pack it up, unplug it, wrap that cord around your own, cooling the gang with a, like, that snarky puppy. If that would have been me, I'd have been like, all right, can't do nothing with it. Come on, bro. We did good, y'all. We fought a good fight. We ran our race. we good. That Mozart piece. And I think Robin said it in the comment section. That's why I feel like Texas Southern did have the most diverse and unique book. They did. So, I mean, that's for musicians. We are lacking a lot because I feel like you can still pull those songs from back in the day, or even those songs from artists such as Tina Marie. Rest in peace to her. That certain songs, bro, that jam that nobody ever thought about writing. Like when me and Julian was talking about arranging and whatnot, some of his arrangements that people should be thinking about writing that they didn't. I'm not gonna give my ideas on writing because I don't want to give my stuff away because my book gonna be diverse. So if I don't give a damn if it's an anime theme song, if it's a cartoon theme song, if it's a video game from back in the day, Like, do you realize fanfares are not diverse anymore? People are still playing chase. I mean, and I'm saying that, and I don't want nobody to be like, well, he talking about Grambling. No, people are still playing Bill Chase. And that was written in the 70s. But we don't want to talk about that. How are we, transitioning forward? You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's certain HBCU standards that we need to keep. Then there's also some measures that we need to push forward. Triplet. I get you. But I don't want to hear that on every song. No lie. I did appreciate when Brian Simmons wrote that nobody does it better. That was different. But we got to start diving deep into the creativity of what we can bring to the table, not the same thing. And I think, unfortunately, because we focus on trends, that's why we lose. Instead of understanding that everyone in their own right is a trendsetter. So that's how I feel about that. But depending on who listening to it, me, I'm the people with Portia. I'm tired. I'm dog tired, boss. Dog tired. But that's just where I'm at. And my favorite bands, real talk, are the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s band. I feel like with the lack of support financially and administratively, bands started to fall off late 90s, early 2000s, and then it really peaked about 07. And then we started fighting to bring it back. I think we're going to have a renaissance for bands to come back, but that's when people took bands serious. Go back and look at some of them drills, lines straight, dance routines on point, entertaining, and then they went in the stand and might have played Purple Carnival, the Klaxon. They did it all. They was not limited to, well, we got to have 50 songs, 50 rap songs in the stands, but was playing with clarity, intonation, pitch, blend, and balance. They was doing it all, bro. Just saying.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up because you really started going into the next topic. Because I think that's something that needs to be discussed. So instead of going through the whole process of going through the topic switch and just bringing it up, since you kind of already started it, we get the conversation of, and we've heard it many a times, you got to meet the kids where they are, which I think in education you do. I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't. But I think that we disregard the past way too much. And that's just my personal opinion. So when it comes to this thought process, let's ask this question. Is looking to the past a good thing? Who hasn't started? Oh, Maya, you ain't started one yet. Is looking to the past a good thing, Maya?
Couldn't get off mute. This is controversial. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. So, yes, I definitely think that looking to the past is a good thing, right? That's Sophie. I'm sorry, y'all. Shh. My mind is going a million miles a minute because I'm not even sure. Like, yes, it's a good thing, but then what, right? Because meeting children or meeting folks where they are, right? But then still honoring tradition or fundamentals and all of those things. You mesh them, and then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I'm just trying to think forward thinking. Yes, looking to the past is a good thing, but then what? I don't really know. And I say that because, again, I have a whole bunch of things in my head, and I haven't had time to quite figure them out yet. So I'll come back.
All right. Quan, is looking to the past a good thing? I know you kind of started off a little bit talking about the past anyway, but just this gives you the chance now in the topic to go ahead and elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. I think the great thing about being a music educator, we relate things And we correlate a lot of things. So, for example, when I was an elementary teacher, when Coco came out, like that movie, man, I thought that was one of the best movies created by Disney, right? And I'm bringing it up for this reason. There's a part where if like after you go into afterlife, if you don't put your people on the I don't want to mispronounce it, but not fedora, but the mantle, like they get lost in the afterlife, right? To keep those band directors that transmogrified black bands to what we see today, we got to keep their names on the mantle. But it's not our job and duty to stick with them and then lack creativity on our end so that our names don't end up on that same mantle. The problem is if somebody gives you a blueprint, it is your job, honestly, to say, how can I make this better? That's when you pushing things forward. I think Dr. Zachary did that and did that well in regards to Prairie View. One band director sat in the seat for 30 years. He passed away. Dr. Zachary gets the helm in 2012, 2013, that time frame. And now he's transitioning them to another pinnacle. Same thing. You had Southern University Band. Dr. Greg's getting the seat. Guess what? He transitioned it. Same thing with Lawrence Jackson, Hamer, and now Kedrick. They're pushing it forward. No one says that you're locked into this specific tradition. But then as a man or a woman, whomever's over that band program, ask yourself, how can I leave my mark without erasing the other person's legacy? And I think that's the problem. We sometimes get so caught up on our ego to where it's like, you just gonna disregard 60 years of history before you get there. Now, how can I enhance this? And I think if we have that type of mentality, that type of mindset, that's when you get better. But here's the issue though. Are you studying to get better? Or are you just complacent to be like, well, this is what it's been, so this is what is going to keep going? You're supposed to look at and the FAMUs, the Southern universities, the Norfolks, the Mississippi Valley when they were core style, and say, you know what? How can I set my band apart from all of these schools? How can I do a what's the word I'm looking for? Julian, not a step 2 drill. What's the other one? Come on, bro, help me out.
Linear drill?
Linear, thank you. I couldn't get the word out. Like a linear drill, but then incorporate step 2 in it. How can I know we're accustomed to marching north and south, but how can we incorporate east and west in this drill? Like, how can I include kaleidoscope with linear, with the percussion feature? How can I do it all? And maybe my faith is so big to where you're not going to just put me in a box. And that's just how I look at it, bro. But you have to respect them people. Those were those are the shoulders we're standing on now. So I feel like it's disrespectful to just disregard those people. The Hamptons from St. Augustine, and this is the person that many people don't even talk about. From New Orleans, Adrian Watkins. People need to start talking about him and how he was a great arranger, how he would arrange with Mr. Hampton and was a band director all up and down Louisiana. People don't talk about him. People don't talk about a whole bunch of goats, but you're supposed to look back though.
All right. Portia, is looking to the past a good thing?
Our fault. Are you?
It's Norfolk.
Norfolk. Or Norfolk. You can say Norfolk though. Or Norfolk.
Norfolk. Got it. And it's Quan with a K.
Okay.
Everybody correct.
Your name. Yeah, I don't mean no harm, but it ain't much in these rap daddies. So if you want your band to have any music, you got to play something else. And I don't mean no harm. It ain't no real ballads now either. So, I mean, even when we ask the girls, the still guys have a running list. And we just check off like, oh, we need a ballad, or, the drill is what? Okay, we're going to look at our list. Those songs more 99.9% of the time, those girls are picking those I'll make love to you. You know, all of those things, don't leave, the stuff like that, because there is nothing now. Now they did try to send me a list of stuff this year, and I was like, y'all got poles in y'all hands, so y'all won't be twirling to none of this. Okay, praise the Lord. But no, because at least back then they used to say it with a little finesse. Now everything is just, it ain't about love no more. We just gonna hump and keep it moving, or it's gonna be real vulgar.
They don't even say hump no more.
No, it just be real. It's a lot going on. So we gotta look to the past, because if you think that somebody said to me, you know, y'all did Jasmine Sullivan real good, y'all should twirl to sit on it. I said, excuse me, with a pole? Oh no, baby, not the Silkettes. Now you can.
Wait, there's a song called "Sit on It."
By Jasmine Sullivan, and I love the song, but baby, if you think that those young ladies are gonna get out there and twirl to that, somebody's on drugs. Absolutely not.
Hey, I'm you might want just consider it.
Why? I'll hit you in the throat. No.
That's not even. Yeah,
no.
Go sit in the corner. Now we just
no. Like the band can play it, and I think it'll be an awesome band song. But if you think that I'm gonna let them get out there with a flagpole in their hand talking about sitting on it, oh no, baby, not this life or the next.
We're going viral, baby.
Listen, as a director, I will tell you that playing a song called "Sit on It," even if you ain't vocally expressing yourself, ain't gonna fly. It just ain't gonna fly.
And my thing is this:
with some admin.
We have to look to the past, because these new people ain't giving us nothing to work with. I'm telling you, like Jasmine last year gave us, you know, a couple of hits, but some of that stuff is vulgar. But people not giving us a lot to work with. It is really, yeah. It just ain't it. And if we don't look to the past, the Silkettes wouldn't have no feature, because I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff is not a ballad. And they can twirl to some up-tempo stuff, but a lot of it, that's raggedy, that's trash too. So I mean, if we don't look to the past, I don't know what we got.
Hey, I'm just joking, but I remember one of my kids told me, Mr. Mitchell, you mind writing throat baby? I said, shit, I'm gonna lose my job.
Okay. Unemployed. Me know what they are.
I was like, Mr. Mitchell, we just gonna call it TB. We're gonna call. I say TB. I'm gonna be FIRED.
Okay. Right.
That's why I said some administrators will let you slide, because it was some bands who was playing that, but a lot of bands was like, absolutely not. No, I remember when that happened, because my kids at no. You're gonna
be fired messing around with this stuff. And to me, if they got to make a whole new version for the radio, it's a problem. It's a problem. Some of this stuff is crazy. So you have to look to the past. The other thing is that if you want to give them something musical, you gotta go to the past. Because right now, it ain't it unless they making up some and putting it in the song.
You gotta go in the album. Like, people miss the hits in the album, bro.
Most of the hits is
you gotta go in the album, bro. You gotta go in the album. Like some of these rappers, real talk, they got hits, but it's in the album. And I remember a time when you would go in the album and play the song, and people be like, bro, what is that? And they would have to go look up the song, because bands used to make songs popular.
I want to say this.
Hold on, I gotta. What Justin?
What did Justin do?
Girl, you look good when you back that. Versus, I want to sit on it, and I won't even go into the rest of the lyrics.
Oh, well,
what I'm saying is, Cardi B described her private parts on the song.
I mean, we had a song called WAP, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's the one I'm talking about. Like, back to girl, you look good. He's saying girl like tail. And I'm not saying you can't rap about it or sing about it, because some of that stuff back in the day was nasty as I don't know what, but please finesse it. Dress it up a little bit.
And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Back That Thing Up was about dancing, wasn't it? Or was it really about her? Because I could have swore it was about dancing.
He liked how she danced with that tail.
Y'all really ain't listen to the lyrics.
I did listen to the lyrics,
bro. When he say, "Put y'all on the couch at."
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah. You never mind. You're right. I had to think about it.
Huh?
My bad. You right.
What I'm saying is
free BG.
Right.
But I think he's free.
He is free.
The band played it, and I'm not saying the Legion could play the mess out of sit on it. The Silks won't be twirling to it. That's my area. No.
So would you feel some type of way if Hot Ice would dance to it?
Hell no, I ain't that coordinator. I wouldn't encourage it, but that ain't my business.
Well, I will say this for years, and it wasn't until I got older that I really realized many bands got away with telling everybody that they were smoking on hay for a very long time.
Or what's that one talking about weed and alcohol?
Yeah. PWA, yes sir. Hey, Willa Ridge played it. I can tell you right now we did.
But what I'm saying is it wasn't I'm mixing my Sprite with my medicine and I'm passing out and my head hitting the wall. That's the kind of stuff they talk about now. Smoking on hay. And if the little kids didn't know what the hay was, then you was fine. Now it is up front. It is in your face. I call the Legion a cartel band. Everything they play is about drugs, sex, and killing people. Cartel.
That's rap.
Cartel. Ain't none of y'all been in love before. That's why they be struggling with these ballads, because y'all don't know nothing about love. Everything is I'm going to punch you in the face and shoot you, and we're going to do drugs after.
Listen,
but F&F?
I'm going to go back to this hay thing, because I don't know if anybody listened. That hay got me going into space, and I just can't get enough. Smoking every day. I got the hay, so you know I'm going to roll it up, make a cloud. Like, what the heck? Like, they're literally telling you everything that they're doing in the song. Like, so,
hey, boy. Hey, you ate that one, bro.
Thank you.
You ate that one. Good job. You ate that one.
Appreciate it. But I mean, hey was my song back in the day. So, but yeah, we ain't get to Kunta yet. Kunta is look to the past, a good thing.
Sure, y'all just hitting every nail on the head, because it's like my only new thing I'll say is, well, it's really messed together, because when you look at the past, yeah, everything's good in the past. You look at how was it successful and how you can apply it to today's appliances. When I look at music, when I'm arranging, it's hard, because I'm not, I'm young, but I don't look at all the trends. I don't be looking at ABC Elmo, then drop the ABC song. Like, I'm still stuck on, like, I was just talking about Jeezy new album, Snowfall, right now. I'm like, man, that's a banger. But people that doesn't listen to Jeezy and listen to ABC Elmo talking about FNF, then you wouldn't know that Jeezy had a hit or anything. So, and I agree. The new ballads, it's hard to write newer ballads, because I was doing this because it's small. And I don't know. It just, I want to lay you on the bed, I want to hit you, and then I'm going to leave and then take your money. Hit it, then I get some money. Something like that. Like, it's just, nowadays music, like what Quan said, you just got to dive deep into it for you to really just find, like, oh, this is going to be smashing. But at the same time, you have to realize, like, oh, yeah, this going to be smashing, but does the majority know? Does the majority know this song? Like, because on Snowfall, I'm like, hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised if anybody hit the album, but if you're a Jeezy fan or listen to the album, then you'll be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But once again, people like ABC Elmo, so.
Bro, we being hypocrites now.
Is that a real person?
I was about to ask, is this a person?
Nah.
ABC Elmo?
Because no, these names so crazy. Everybody was this. It's so much going on that I don't know. So I thought
we being hypocrites, yeah.
I thought ABC Elmo was a real person. I'm like,
come on. Hey y'all, come on, family. We being hypocrites. I'm gonna tell you why. This is why we being hypocrites. Real talk. Here it is. my mama and them dance to Candy Liquor. I hear you knocking, but I can't stop to let you in. Cause see, right now I'm a little too busy making love to your best friend. Make it Betty Wright making love.
I can't open the door because I'm over here. That ain't what it say. Now it's gonna say it's subliminal. My thing is finesse.
Come on now.
So I'm
now.
Hold up. So let me come in the middle of that because I see both sides of that. The thing I'm gonna say about that is Portia has a very, very good point in the sense that even though those things were being said in the past, there was a little bit more finesse to it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I'm about to come and your brains like I was talking to my wife the other day and I got frustrated because we were talking about Chris Brown and it was like pre-Rihanna situation. Chris Brown was like, even if he was putting out the stuff, it was love and blah 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 blah. Post Chris Brown, he was not sparing.
But he became grown.
No.
We did talk like that. I don't want to hear that.
Thank you. If I'm gonna talk in public, I'm not gonna talk about that. Now, when I'm with my wife by myself, now we talking about.
Man, God says cool. God says cool.
What I'm telling you is that I want you to finesse it. Yes, they said it. I'll make love to you. It's talking about the same thing, but they finessed it. It ain't, come over here. It's too much.
So you telling me keep it in the closet? You need to keep it in the closet like finessing, like Michael Jackson, because he was talking about it.
Okay. And they always talking about it. Hey girl, ain't no mystery. Okay.
Okay, but watch this though. You gonna bang that R. Kelly?
Huh?
You was banging Kales. You was banging the aura. You was.
The band ain't banging the auras, okay? And the girls ain't twirling to the auras.
So let me talk about
still playing R. Kelly.
Let me talk about Kale.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is not a popular opinion. Let me explain something to you. We still play Michael, so I'm gonna still play R. Kelly in my own house. Okay?
You feel me? Who don't play him?
We gonna go. People not ready to have this conversation with me, but I'm sorry. A grown man would never.
We gonna
little kids running around. I don't have little kids running around my house, but we'll have that conversation the other night.
But Michael, but it was proven that Michael ain't touched them little boys.
Right.
Now he may have had them in the crib, but he ain't touched them little boys. All right. But Kales.
But here's my thing. You still gonna bang Elvis though?
It was some stuff going on out here, but we just need to crucify. Everybody need to carry the same cross. Is all I'm saying.
They still playing Elvis. They still playing Jerry Lee Lewis.
Getting high. Earth Song was not about getting high. Now you just going somewhere left, Justin.
Yeah, and I had a long week, so y'all getting me real raw and uncut. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm gonna be quiet.
Who listens to Elvis?
I was going.
I listen to music.
Who's listening to Elvis? Who listening to Elvis?
Bro, I listen to everything, bro. I listen to everything.
Once I found out about Elvis's past, I stopped listening to Elvis. Now that's just me, but I used to. But now, I'm good.
But here's the thing. But you'll listen. Okay, so you'll want. That's a whole nother conversation. I'll leave it.
Throw somebody at me.
So you will listen to somebody from back in the day, because our Southern hip hop is drill. That's basically like that's the new drill, right? You can't tell me you're not a UGK fan.
So I am a UGK fan, but I don't listen to them no more.
So if you no more for real?
Yeah, I don't listen to them no more. I'm a DMX fan. I don't listen to him no more.
So you don't listen to no rap no more?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, touche.
I had to allow that energy to release from my spirit. So I don't listen to that no more.
Well, when we get in the car together, tell me, because I'm gonna make a playlist just for you.
Well, no, because I'm gonna have my phone and I'm gonna listen to what I listen to.
No. If we driving, I'm gonna be fair because I still got Trill. You still gonna Boosie like my cousin. I'ma still bang Boosie. I'm sorry.
Well,
You get in my car, you gonna get Trilly and T from from 04 to about 12.
I'm
And
just
we still a gangster.
all I'm gonna say is if you ain't playing independent, I'm good. I don't want nothing else from Boosie. I just want to hear the IND. That's all I want to hear.
Nah, bro. Nah.
That's all I want to hear.
By the time you get out the car with me, you're gonna be having a pistol on you. I'm telling you.
My
I'm
favorite is you want to talk.
You want to run your mouth. Come on, man. You telling me
That's from my past. That's from my past
you
life.
listen to Forever I Love Atlanta by Scratch?
If I'm talking about, that's the stuff that I used to listen to when I was in them club days and I was running clubs and stuff like that and DJing back in the day.
Man.
That was my stuff. I tell anybody I had a fight book on my DJing set list. If I got tired of being in the club and DJing, I had a fight book. And I would play all the fight music because I knew somebody was going to swing and they was going to shut the club down early and I could go home.
Well, you look like a down south Georgia boy.
Okay.
Come on with the white tee. Come on, baby.
Hey, the snapping was the thing back then. But anyway, but yeah, when it comes to we got to bring it back because we got so far off. Hey, that was the joint back. Everybody in the club was on it. Anyway, but no, bringing it back, man, is looking to the past a good thing. God dang, we went so far off. I honestly think that programs and I learned this from being in another school district should really have a history night. Like we do a lot of stuff in certain band programs where we are learning about like different directors and stuff like that, which is cool. But I think that coming in as a crab or a rookie or whatever whatever your program calls you, I think that you need to have a history night. And a history night not only needs to consist of you learning about these directors and blah 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 blah, but you actually going back and watching the footage and seeing what the program progressed from and seeing some of the better performances. One of the things that I loved about Willow Ridge during my time when I was there was the fact that in the band room, Mr. Thornton was gifted this huge big screen TV. And when I came in as a freshman, we would always watch older videos of Willow Ridge and the major performances. We watched the Rose Bowl parade and all the things that happened that led up to the Rose Bowl. We watched that. What? Anyway, we watched that. What was it? 97 Battle of the Bands. We watched the Orange Bowl parade. We watched all of those things so that we had a vision of where we came from. So we knew what we were representing every time that we stepped out there on the field. And I think that every single band program needs to be able to have those particular situations when they do that. If all that you're doing is just watching the stuff that you produce, I'm not talking to you, Google. Anyway, Google is going off in the background, is messing my thought process up. But no, if all we're watching is just the stuff that we produce and we're not seeing where we're coming from, and you're leaving it up to the student to go and find this phantom stuff that doesn't exist or is difficult to find, then it's left up to interpretation of what this band program should look like and how you should respect it going forward. So I really think that that's when I think looking to the past, I think those things are those particular situations are necessary. So that's just kind of where I come from with it.
I think, okay, I'm glad that you kind of said that, right? Because when I was trying to make my point, I was more so thinking of it how you just explained it, right? And that's where and then what comes from, right? Because I would like to think that our version of band head adjacent, whatever spectrum you fall under, yes, I think that we and people before us could have an appreciation for that. But I'm not sold on the fact that today's world or today's culture is going to appreciate that and be able to move that forward. So when you ask is looking to the past a good thing, I'm thinking of it in terms of a visionary. How is it going to be portrayed and pushed forward? I think, yes, for the sake of the thing, the students may, take it in. But at the end of the day, if we're having such a big problem with lack of identity, whether no matter up until Friday afternoon before the game, we are going over things that make us who we are based off of our traditions, based off of values and morals. But then we get Friday night lights and get in front of whomsoever, and all the shit go out the window. I think that's a great deal of why we are in this subset of what we consider culture today, band culture, because there's not enough of that identity factor so instilled, so ran through your blood, so I can't even step away from it if I tried. That's where the and then what comes from. So to pull that full circle together, that was how I consumed it. I didn't even think in terms of the type of music that's being produced. I'm thinking of it in terms of moving the band program forward. Is looking back gonna help us get to remarking the culture to what it once was? No, not in this day and age. Not with these folks. That's marching these ones, twos, threes, and fours. But you know what I'm saying? Like, no.
I mean, I think so to some degree, right? Like, if you have, let's just say every band, or not every band, but I'll put it this way. Sometimes you'll go back and you'll look at the past and you'll look at old videos, and some kids will be inspired to play some of the old stuff that they saw somebody else play because it was dope. But because you haven't seen it and you don't recognize it or whatever, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And I think that helps, and that will also help with the variety of music that you play. If all that is available to you because of what everybody has said in the comment section, terrible producers or just the times or whatever, if that's all that's available to you, go back to the past and look at what you did before. It's nothing wrong with pulling some old stuff up that was dope, especially if it will fit for your program. Now, I have the other half of that is I think we get too caught up in traditional songs. I think that you should have staple songs. Yes. We came to play. I think that's something that's going to stay with Jackson, and it should. Get ready. Something that should stay with Jackson. When it comes to PV, damn, my mind just went on blank. That quick.
Swamp.
ET Swamp. Yeah. Those things. But even, I mean, with Norfolk, I think that there's some songs that we stopped playing. I think we should play. I and this is just me. I personally think the band should still be playing PYT, but that's just my personal opinion. I love PYT, but that's because there was a Dizzy song, so that just may be a personal preference. But I mean, there are just some songs that I think that every program should have in their book as staples. But then you should go back and look in the past and see what worked for you, and how can you advance in that, and how can you use that to make it better or make your program better, and also see where you came from to know what you're representing when you step out there. All right, man. We're coming up on the last topic. I'm going to go ahead and announce the last topic. And once I announce that last topic, I'm going to put the link inside of the chat so that if you want to come in and talk that talk with us, man, you are more than welcome to do so. I'm also going to pin it to the chat and the YouTube. So let's go ahead and start it off right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Good Lord, I'm messing it up now. It's getting late. Smash that like daddy, man, as soon as you walk into the room. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can come over to the YouTube at Passionate Network, and you can go ahead and subscribe then and turn on notifications. Then you can go back to the Facebook and do what you're doing. But this episode will be up on all your podcasting networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. I didn't say nothing to you either, Bixby. Good Lord. All right. I swear, y'all, if y'all didn't know what was going on in this private chat, it'd be hilarious. All right. Last topic. So first of all, before I start this topic off, I do want to make sure that I announce, if you are in the Memphis, Tennessee area, Mississippi versus Memphis, Tennessee, the Sounds of Thunder versus the Tsunami of Sound is going to be going down on Saturday, December 3rd. I want to make sure I get that out there. Mr. McBride and Mr. Kennedy, Brother Deontay Kennedy, is going to be having a Battle of the Bands. They're 2 programs, man. So you guys go out there and support. If you are in that area, please, please, please support. I will never, ever, ever, ever not tell somebody not to support any band program and any directors doing what they need to do. But with that, I saw this original post, and I wanted to kind of use something from this post to go to the next topic. And so Brother Kennedy put this up, and I wanted to highlight what he said. He said, and he's talking about Andrew McBride, which is my former student who went to Texas Southern, and he went to Alcorn, and now he has his own program at Jefferson County High School. He said, I watched this young man be hated on, talked about in circles he wasn't in, put in a box, and not to mention expected to be a failure from the masses. Fast forward, still in the culture, now helping kids, has his own thriving program, one of the best arrangers out here. And last but not least, he finds time to work on his master's and still be the assistant director of Alcorn State University. He goes on to just give Drew his props and his flowers. But one of the things that kind of stood out to me, not necessarily him talking about Drew, but more or less just the word of hating, just that hating thing. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is I'm really, really curious about what is hating. And I have to ask that, and I really want to get deep into this because I don't know if it was me talking to Quan or me talking to my wife or both. But I think that we as a people, as a culture, as chocolate folk and brown folk, black folks, I think we have a problem with being told our crap don't stink. And I think that we associate that with hating. And so I'm just curious. And like I said, it's not specifically what, Brother Kennedy was talking about. So please don't anybody think that I'm talking about him and what he was talking about with Drew specifically. I'm just wondering about the whole concept of hating. And so that's the question. What exactly is hating? Kunta, you got it. Kunta, you got it first, and then Quan.
Oh, because I got a lot to say on this, because I was actually talking about this earlier in the day, experienced this earlier in the day as well, before I even went in rehearsal, man. So, as everybody can see, my hashtag hating is the new truth. It's not even talking about band, just in general. It's getting to a point where, like, everybody, and I'm not even going to say everybody, because, that's plural. It's getting to a point there's a majority of over here that agrees with a certain topic. And it's getting to a point with you having your own opinion, like, okay, this is cool, but, this is what I think. It's getting to the point where, like, people think, oh, you're hating. And, if you look up the textbook definition of hating is saying, like, for example, ABC Elmo, you're never gonna be nothing in life. You're just gonna be a pure failure. You're just plateaued. You're not ever gonna just go to the sky. But people will take the truth and be like, ABC Elmo, hey man, your music good, but it can be better doing this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to change your frequency in the music so you can understand. And it's getting bad, because since when telling the truth is hating, man? It's like, if we take in band terms, just using it in the band terms, bro. How is me telling you your band sounds bad when I know what good band sounds like? It's not I'm hating and saying, oh, your band is never gonna sound good. Key difference in keywords. It's one of them, like, you can sound way better, man. You can be the top band. But man, them trumpets, they sharp, dog. They sharp. And it's trying to tell the truth, and it's getting to a point. A lot of people don't like to hear the truth. A lot of people will turn the word truth into hate, and it's just getting bad, And if you don't know the difference between hating and the honesty, then is how you're gonna be good in life if you can't tell the difference between one or the other.
Okay. All right. Quan, what exactly is hating?
It's having an opinion without a goddamn solution. That's basically just what it is. Again, bro, I think being a band director, I think it was maybe Portia or somebody, but I can't remember. But it was somebody from the panel. It was Crystal. Crystal said one time on the episode that as band directors, we can never hide our Fs. We literally put it out there either on the field or on the stage, period, right? Whatever our production is, regardless if our kids failed, no pass, no play, regardless if we have administrative support, parental support, whatever, that doesn't matter. You got a show to do because we are producers. We produce shows. Hating is when you say that band trash and that's it. Or you excoriate the band director, or you excoriate these kids, and they're never going to get better, and so forth and so on. Critiquing is, man, they like Brother Kunta just said, man, they have real potential, but it's this maybe they need to work on. And you have more haters than people that are merely critiquing. Then, when it goes back to we speaking about the art, I'm gonna just put it out there. Some of the shit that people are saying is not sound pedagogy. So now you mad at that. So as a band director, if Portia or Maya or Michonne literally told me, well, Quan, your auxiliary can improve like this. That's why adjudicators are important. Because after you do that performance and they say, fam, like, I wrote these notes for you. This is what they need to work on to get better. I can take that as tangible and work on that and explain it to my kids to improve the what? Kids. Not get clicks and likes from a joke. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that don't give a damn about the kids. Don't give a damn about what you're going through mentally, developing these kids. The time and blood, sweat, and tears, like Portia said, that you're sacrificing to build these kids up to not only be better musicians or better dancers or better people. You don't give a damn about that. You trying to get clicks and likes from a laugh or a joke. It doesn't matter that some of my kids may have a learning disability or may be dealing with mental illness. That don't matter. Y'all want jokes. Y'all want likes, and we only do it to ourselves. I'm in different, let me be specific and explicit. I'm in different drum corps groups as well. They critique the drum line. They never say nothing about the kids. That's where we go too far. Now you're talking about personal stuff with the band director, but you're not talking about, well, how can this improve? That's the difference with us. It's like sometimes as a culture and as a people, we don't go low for a joke. We go lower to insult and crush, belittle, demean. That's where it becomes hating, because now you're being intentional about what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? On this show alone, we never hate on nobody. Prime example, like what you just did, Julian. You gave a shout out to Deontay as well as your former student Drew. When we had the conversation with Deontay came on the show, I ain't agree with most of what he said. But when we saw him, when we went to the city, it was like, say, bro, now you see really who we are. And he was like, man, I really do appreciate that. Had a good exchange. Peace be unto him. Keep doing what you're doing. That's maturity. We don't have that in all facets of our culture, specifically with band. What we have is a person that's a gangster behind this keyboard and doesn't understand what I'm sacrificing. I'm sacrificing family time. And we're going to be honest, I'm sacrificing real talk more money because we ain't really getting paid what we really should be getting paid. We sacrificing mental anguish. Sometimes we take care of these kids more than our kids but that's a whole different story. You dig what I'm saying? So when people attack, not when they attack your kids, that's the difference. Without a solution, how you gonna make me better than? Because I'm listening to you. I don't have a problem with nobody critiquing. I asked Dr. Zachary, people from Prairie View, if a person, if you a juke, I don't care. But is it sound? Is it sound advice? Because the truth is, you wouldn't take advice from financial advice from a person that's always broke. So why I gotta take advice from you? That's all I'm saying, bro. We as a people gotta do better. Hating is easy, but read what I'm saying. It's band directors real talk. I'm no lie, and I end with this. I've seen some of them have put their product out, but behind closed doors, I slid in the DM and was like, "Hey, bro, you might want to work on breathing exercise." But my approach is literally, I'm not telling you what to do with your band because I know people can be sensitive about their product. But hey, you might want to work on this. I think this can improve that. Hey, this is this resource. Because somebody had to help Quan. Quan wasn't always great. Quan is continually getting better. So if you don't ask, if you don't put yourself out there to help the next person, then what are we really doing? That's what hating is, bro. People that's behind closed doors, that's on this computer, talking bad about you, excoriating you, but have no solutions. That's a hater.
Okay. You said a whole mouthful there. And I do want to be able to get to Portia and Maya. But I will say this, there are many truths in what you said, but here's my rebuttal to that. I have seen, and I've physically seen this before, so I'm not making this up. I've seen people who have been adjudicated and said, man, that judge is hating. So in regards to how you position what hating is, I can definitely agree with what you're saying, but there are people who still will get it the right way and still think you're hating. And then before you go for that one, because I got another thing, I got to write my stuff down because y'all be going in sometimes. The other thing is, you said that you wouldn't take financial advice from somebody who's always broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my life, I've learned that just because you don't have it doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge. So
that's fair.
So, for instance, I know plenty of people who aren't even band directors who can give me a wealth of knowledge on how to run a band program, how to build a quality sound. And I don't have to say, well, where your band at? So those are the two things that I just kind of wanted to give you as little wrench in your little cogs there. So
no, but what you're saying is fair. And but what was the first thing you said?
I was saying that I know people personally who have received adjudication and still said that they were hating.
Well, I bring up the Bible. The Bible says a fool is
delusional. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good. But a fool despises wisdom too, though. Like, that's the thing, bro. Like, think about it. If we really get down to the real history of historical Black colleges, those pillars and pioneers that started these band programs went to what grad schools, Julie? Either Michigan State. I know a few have possibly went to Indiana, but it was up north, right? What school Bill Moffitt was working at? Michigan State. And he wrote Patterns in Motion when he was teaching at Indiana. If you speak, when we had conversation with Dr. Sanford, where did he say he go to learn Patterns in Motion? Bill Moffitt in Indiana, Michigan State. If you listen to some of our fast cadences come from Michigan State, Indiana. The uniforms that we have, some of them come from Michigan, Indiana, Michigan State. When you look at the format for the shows, the backbend, Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue. The white shoes that certain bands wear come from Purdue and other schools and beyond.
One band.
Huh? Well, it's one for HBCU, but the other white schools that do it, what I'm saying is, bro, what pisses me off is we act like we invented it. That's the problem. Somebody had to teach them people. So how dare you? So basically what you're saying, you was better than them. That's why I say you got to reach out to your past. That's why I like sitting at the feet of wisdom, bro, so that I won't repeat the same mistakes, not just about band, but about life. How do I navigate real talk through this band life with admin? Because some of them did it many of them did it the right way to create their legacy. And that shit pisses me off, bro. Like, for real. Because we're sitting here legitimately saying, well, adjudicators are stupid. Well, who taught them patterns of motion? Now, how can who developed the concept of linear drills? And why real talk are we still stuck in 1960? But we talk about DCI, but that's what DCI was, drilling up and down the field, north and south. We already, man, let's put it out there. As HBCU graduates, we know that there's certain deficits that we face. There's no drilling class, unfortunately. In most schools, there may not even be an arranging class. So you got to go get that out the mud on your own. Man, people despising wealth of knowledge, and people are dying with it. And then we're trying to figure out why black bands is dying and don't look good and look the same. And we still doing the same thing from 1960. Come on, bro. Like, people got to get up off that high horse, bro. As the words of Pimp C, boys better get up off that crumb. It's a whole bread truck out here.
I just came to dance for y'all. That's all.
Speaking about that, where the high white boots come from? Oh. We don't want to talk about that, though. We won't talk about them ladies that was overseas dancing for the military with the high white boots on. See, I'm a student, bro. You can't just tell me anything. Oh, we go look up the Ed Sullivan show when they was in war. All right, that's a bit. Okay.
Portia, what exactly is hating?
I don't have nothing. That young man, that man right there said it all. Okay, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. Okay, I don't have nothing. Mic drop. What am I supposed to say after that?
I think Maya, you're in the same boat, aren't you? Now, what am I supposed to say after that?
Literally, like I said, that man came from the left end of the spectrum, went all the way to the right, and came back again, stopped in the middle, and went back for another piece, and went on back to Child, please. What are we supposed to say after that? I was gonna say something about sensitivity, covered that. I was gonna say something about lack of appreciation, covered that.
Man, drop y'all knowledge, bro. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Teacher student, you didn't drop it for us.
Right.
You took it from us.
You didn't put on, did a whole course in one night. Praise the Lord.
Show tonight. I know that's right. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, that I mean, that got everybody quiet.
Yeah.
Even the comments got quiet. Like, God dang, let me sit back and
that boy got a point.
Nah, because bro, like, I feel like band saved my life because I know what I was doing. And it was two people, bro, that was like, hell pair of sticks, study the craft. Here's a pair of sticks, study the craft. And what frustrates me is we're getting caught up. Like, I have books and books and books of just trying, because I want to be great. It costs you something to be great, dog. And I feel like everybody is talking about they want to be the GOAT, but you're not putting the shit in with me, though, like that. You're not in the gym shooting with me, bro. Like, you're not in the middle of the night. And real talk, anybody that really loved this craft has dropped tears behind it because you felt like you wasn't good enough. And then I create a product with an after-school band program, and you got the audacity to talk shit online, but you don't know what I'm going through with these kids. I got kids that I got to feed out my own pocket. I'm buying instruments out of, from the pawn shop, buying mouthpieces, trying to figure out how can I manipulate stuff and make something shake, negotiating with t-shirt shops and whatnot, robbing Peter to pay Paul for these kids, and you got the audacity to talk about you a goat because you can arrange, but you cross-voicing, you not even resolving right, you have no contrary emotion. Oh, but I'm the hater because I went to school. People don't understand, bro. I felt like a dunce when I went to a PWI because they was like, bro, your passion, you great,
bro,
but you got to learn. Bro. Which like people don't know. Sometimes real talk, them same people that we talk crap about, them white the others, like the other races, we talk crap about them, but sometimes they treat you better than your own people. Bro. Man, you great, bro. You great. But hey, like real talk, but you got to learn how to resolve. You got to learn what contrary motion. You got to learn what oblique motion is. Hey, bro, this is the real range of the instrument. You taking it above that, real talk, it don't sound right. Now you're distorted. Understand about frequency. Understand about peer intonation, equal temperament. Like that's what we need to learn, because people question me, but like I'm solidified in other areas, and then that's crazy. We accept it in some other areas, and not even our own. Man, we got chat rooms and groups that literally the goal and plight is to talk about our culture. And some of them ain't even marched in it. You ain't even survive a band camp. You don't know what it is to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to a band hall and the band director not even there. And it's drum majors and them outside. And you got to run the campus. And I ain't talking about shaving your head and all that part. That ain't nothing. I'm talking about going through that process and really losing 20 pounds in a week because you're really working out. I'm talking about that, but you got the audacity to come up on here and you got people that all you did was march for high school? Man, miss me with that. Be homesick, but you can't go home? And your band become your family because y'all having Thanksgiving dinner together or New Year's dinner together? That's what you talking about.
Bruh.
You hear me? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you didn't. Hey, tonight. Yeah.
I'm tired, bro. I be tired, bro. Man, cause all right, stop the music. I'm just saying, bro. I really be tired because I see it and don't say nothing. Man, I like come on, like some of your band family became the godparents to your children. Yeah. Or you plan on them to be in your wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in the trenches telling these kids who we see every day, say, I know your mama can't pay for school. Let me show you a way, bro. Just trust me just for this. Just trust me for this little bit. Like, let's talk about the real, how women are marginalized, how Dr. Latoya Webb legitimately had to transition from a HBCU to a PWI to be recognized how she is now. And real talk, in the next 10, 15 years, there gonna be books that's written about this woman. But you couldn't be a drum major at the school, though? Come on, bro. I'm just to the point, bro.
Hey,
I must be that 35, that 30 live.
I can let you go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, come on, bro. Let's call it for what it is, bro. We're doing the same thing because I feel like people do not want to be creative. People are not using the God. Man, one of my worst fears, bro, is when I stand before God and he said, you had a great life and you did everything good, but look what I had more for you because you didn't really tap into your full potential. That's my fear. That's my only fear. I don't fear nobody, but that's my fear. Because you got the opportunity to rear these kids to being great, but you lazy? Nah, man. I'm sorry, dog. People don't take band serious. We do. over 80 hours a week. When you know the janitors and the cafeteria people, and they be like, lock up. When these kids tell you more stuff than their own parents, and you praying for them, man, miss me with that, bro. So any band director that's out there, any dance teacher, any instructor, anybody that's really in this field trying to better these kids, if you ain't got no solution for me, that's, God bless you, bro. That's just what I'm on. I got a drum instructor that's been volunteering for 12 years straight, no pay. But we got Twitter gangsters. I'm gonna be quiet, bro, because I could be all night. This is my calling. That's the difference. This is my calling, not my job.
I was gonna let you rock, but I think we all understood. we understand. We understand. All right, man. Let's get the first guest in here. He's always first. All right, Justin, what's going on, brother?
I don't want to be first. I feel like when I'm first, to kick me off fast. But anyway,
You be having the longest time on here.
Anyway, let me start off with this haters first because I want to get on that topic. And since you mentioned Drew, I'm gonna speak with Drew because Quan, you need to go be somebody pastor, doc, like a vacation Bible school teacher or something, because you had some passion behind what you were saying, and all we need is a collection plate. You got it.
Hey, well, I'm gonna just say this real quick. People don't know that's my first master's.
Okay, I ain't know that. Well, look, in Drew case, I know what from Deontay was talking about. People was hating on Drew, and like when Quan said if you don't have a solution, that's when you hate. You know what I'm saying? Most times Drew been doing this thing since Texas Southern. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really get the love that he wanted. Then he went to Alcorn and he's praised. You know what I'm saying? He's assistant director now. Then he has a high school now that's thriving. He started it a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Now they battling a known school like Craigmont. So as for this hating, dog, people do be hating, and you can hear it in their tone of their voice. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna say that they can have a solution, but their solution may be bullcrap. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll hate on somebody because simply it's not them. Everybody had a hater before. People don't like you because it's you. It ain't got nothing to do with you. And you sometimes you question yourself, dang, what I did. It ain't nothing but what you did. It's simply it's you and not them. So that hating thing, man, bro, people be hating for real, and they ain't gotta have no concrete reason why. You can hear it in their voice or somebody being genuine or when they critiquing something. Now, a lot of people don't like to be critiqued. I gotta give y'all that too. But sometimes something just be flat out hating, bro. Y'all said something earlier about what I was saying about, I don't know what it was. Are the lines blurred? Okay, boom. Are the lines blurred? That topic. What Kunta said earlier about how he appreciated it was boring, the Bethune-Cookman versus FAMU game, but it sounded good. I always thought, well, I guess I was wrong. I thought everybody could decipher the two between cranking and knowing what that sounded good and the boring stuff that we call boring, and that sounded good. See, you can take two bands that's not known. I ain't gonna say sad bands, and I can appreciate it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be Southern and Jackson all the damn time. I can watch two bands and be like, okay, I know I ain't about to get no cranking 30 million people because they only got 20 in the band. You know what I'm saying? But I can appreciate it for what it is, and I can listen to how good it sounds versus when I get these two monsters. Yes, I thought that everybody can decipher the two, but some people literally would call it garbage because it's not that. So that was a good point y'all made. Another thing I want to say on that topic about how sometimes people call FAMU boring, and how, I guess in the times of what we like, I feel like one thing we always say about Bethune-Cookman, I don't care what we say about them, how boring it is, they always have a big band. Somebody like it. And I just want to let that be the message to like when I went live earlier today talking about this Honda band lineup. It made my blood boil a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never been one of them people to just like the bigger bands and not appreciate something else. But then they really call this lineup trash because it's not the Kings or it's not, you know what I'm saying? But these other bands deserve a shot. So somebody likes what they're doing, and I do agree with y'all. In this battle band needs some type of a live broadcast to make it pop though. You know what I'm saying? And this is I would say for every band in that lineup for this, the perfect time to let the alumni show up for them, because if not, it's gonna be exactly what we think. Y'all say fighting against Mardi Gras. I'm over there debating. This is Baca. I mean, this is Endymion Parade. Quan, you from New Orleans. You understand what I'm going on. You know what I'm saying? Texas Southern low key, I'm gonna say save the lineup, but it kind of made you like, damn, Texas Southern going. I guess I can give it. And that's just I'm being generous. I ain't saying what they're saying in the comments, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still saying it. I know I'm rambling. To the next point, I think was the last point. This old school, it was like something about you get, I don't know what to say. Is looking to the past a bad thing? Quan, you said everything I was saying in the comments. I'm gonna say no. To answer the question, you should look to the old school, because obviously what they did worked. It got us to the point where we in now. You know what I'm saying? I seen something when I was little that I liked that made me want to keep doing this band thing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Also, I think it just, like I always say, meet the kids where they're at, because if you don't meet the kids where you're at, they're not going to have a band. I know I have a list on my laptop and I can't wait to drop it at the end of the season. A lot of these bands who everybody say like just boring, or they just play this stuff that sound good, they be playing rap daddies. It just don't be the rap daddies. It'd be like a Kids Bop version of it, but it'd be melodic and stuff, but it'd be the arrangement. I got some exclusive Norfolk clips of Norfolk cranking the fuck up, playing some damn F and L. Let's go. What's that? And to that point, okay, Portia, you were saying about the Silks Cane Squirrel to
and I didn't pick that song, and that ain't my area, okay? When they said it, I was like, they playing what? That's why they the cartel band. They the cartel band. That ain't my area. Dance routine is not my area.
I love it. Hey, I love it. Hey, you talking so listen, and I'm sitting there thinking like, do y'all know what them old school songs was talking about? Of course, I do get it. It wasn't as blatant, but it's band music. We can describe, we can change the name of the song. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta say the exact lyric. You know what I'm saying? Music is music. Let's get it on. What are you talking about? He damn sure ain't talking about going pick flowers in the damn rose garden. You know what I'm saying? Sit on it. She just being a little straightforward with it. So all in all, we should use stuff from the old school. I don't agree with I do agree with Quan saying you gotta look on the albums, because that's where some of the main songs be on the album, because that's what it takes. It takes for somebody to listen to the album and start putting that in rotation, that end up being the second most highest song or the new single, because somebody took the time and listened. Also, you gotta be more creative. Luke, I'm pretty sure you probably listened to something that nobody probably would not be interested in, like this could be a hit. But until you write it and you play it, now you have a ignorant for no reason, like what Brian Simmons wrote. You can't find that song because he made it up. You know what I'm saying? Like he heard a melody from a damn commercial and made it a song. So yes, look to the old school. And I just feel like a lot of people be capped when they talk about there's no music now. You know what I'm saying? There's music now, you just gotta find it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes as a director, as a person over a band, I think we forget that you got to introduce some stuff to the new kids. And how many times y'all had a situation where a kid might be listening to a song and you hear the sample that's in the song, that's something throwback, whole time they thinking this new song, that song been out. You know what I'm saying? So that can be a start, because what may be old school to me, what could offend my band director, because I'm thinking of a song that was when he was in high school. I'm calling that old school. You know what I'm saying? That you got to think about that too. So when we talk about old school, what old school are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Are you talking about when you was born? Or are you talking about like to them? Because it hurts my soul when I see people be talking about like Usher, like somebody when I was a little kid. Damn, that's old school, y'all. Damn, I was into that when I was like 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? So that's my spiel on it. This is a great ass show, a great show. And yeah. Any rebuttals for that, Luke?
I have two things to say. One, what was the Busset challenge?
Yeah,
I got offended because my students, when I was like, you do realize that's a song that was sampled from another song, and they were like, what? Like, yes, that's not a new song, and that song was out in my backsliding days. So, and then I played the real song for them, and they were like, "Oh, this old song." I was like, "You tripping?" So, no, I get what you're saying on that. But I also will agree, and I 100% agree as an arranger. Some of the best songs are on the album, and here's the greatest example that I can probably give of that as you were talking. Random Access Memory, Daft Punk. Most people know that album for Get Lucky, but the song on that album that was dope from Nathan Hamer, Beyond.
I'm always like, what is he talking about? Nah, I know Beyond there. Hell yeah.
Nobody knew what Beyond was until they played it. And then when I went on the YouTube and looked at Beyond, it was all comments. I'm here because of Southern. I'm here because of Southern. I had never heard that. We Don't Speed.
That was not a single. It was not a single. It wasn't exactly.
I'm telling you, I can tell you right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, some of the best songs are on the albums, and you know, I definitely would agree. You know, divest yourself in the albums, and you know, think outside of the box, man. You know, I've given Quan some inside look at some of the things that I've written, and I can tell you right now, they're not like the top 10, top 20 singles. But there are things that are musically sound, and there are things that can work for band programs. So I definitely would say think outside of the box and look within those major albums. But everything you said, I can definitely agree with you on. Anybody else got anything for Justin? Okay, all right, good.
Man, so
Definitely arguing with each other.
Yeah, we had Porsche on the good side. I do got my ticket booked for LA too. By the way,
Oh, you going?
You got your ticket booked for what?
LA Rose Bowl. There it is. I'll talk to y'all about it later.
You coming to the come on now?
Now you got Porsche. Look at that.
And the media director, I keep forgetting his name. Mark, what's his name? Yeah, he
come out.
The media director. Yeah, media director.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, okay. Kevin put a little. Yeah, we worked out a little something. So I'm gonna be in the building, y'all. You know, I'm talking about the whole time too. Yeah, exclusive. You know, smash time daddy. You know what I'm saying? But Swipe Championship up first, and I'm going to Midwest this year too. I'm everything that y'all say I need to go to. I'm all in the building for all of it. So yeah,
well, we'll definitely link up, bro, because I'll be there.
Hit me up because I'm having 1,000,002 questions. Because you know, I'm gonna talk to y'all online about it. I can't be your sir all day long, but I'm gonna definitely be taking my notes. And I'm signed up for a lot of classes too. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Man, that's dope, man. I can really appreciate it, and I think, and I'm not even gonna say I think this is things like this is what this platform was created for us to be able to share comments and ideas and opinions and be able to invest in the knowledge that we give. And I really appreciate the fact that you are taking time to really just kind of invest yourself and divest yourself in these things. You know, I still hate that you missed those DCI performances, but you're making up for it, man. You make
cool, man. I don't know if we can. I signed up for everything. They have a few performances. I know Tennessee State got a concert band doing something. They got a high school. So every performance I got it. If I could film a little bit of it, I don't know. I got to X when I get there. I definitely cover the stuff that I think that won't be covered. So yeah. So I'm in the building on a lot of it. That was one of the things I remember y'all said I should go to. So I made sure I registered for that way early. So I'm in the building going.
Man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
All right, so I'm going, y'all.
All right, brother.
All
right, man. This has been one heck of a show. Hey, it was something that I needed to say that I did not say at the top of the show. Man, and this is a side topic. This may be some stuff that the people in the chat may not even be in line with, but congratulations to Fantasia. She is now a member of Sigma Gamma Rho. And when I tell you, listen, I just got to put it out there. This I don't care what organization you're a part of, D9, you know, KK Psi, Tau Beta Sigma, Phi Mu Alpha, Sigma Alpha Iota. I don't care. If you're not gonna pick an honorary that's gonna be excited like that, that ain't the honorary for you. I'm just gonna put the thing that and I was telling my wife this the other day. The thing that pisses me off about people selecting honoraries is they just give the honorary out And then the people will put like one little post on Instagram. Oh, I thank you for the honor. And you'll never see them in anything again. Fantasia was like, yo, I'm in this. I'm hitting the sing daddy. I'm hitting the stroll daddy. I'm hitting the call daddy. I'm a rep it till that is how you are supposed to be. It is, you are given this honor for whatever God awful reason they gave it to you. I don't care what reason they gave it to her, but she was proud to hold that thing up, and she is holding that thing tight. We got to stop giving out these honoraries to people who don't really be wanting them in the first place. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Shout out to Miss D, because she be hitting that tall beta sigma daddy hard. It don't she honor it, but she show it off. Shout out to Ricky Smiley, because he be hitting that KK side joint too. So I if we gonna start giving out these honorary daddies, I don't care what part of the Greek spectrum you on, give it to people who actually wanted to be there. Because I don't like saying, well, this person's a member of the organization. And they'll never even be like, yeah, I'm a member of the organization. You just be trying to claim them just because they a namesake. Nah, we got to do better than that. Sorry, my bad. I had to put that out there. But shout out to her though. Anyway, that was it. It's been a hell of a show, man. This has been a good one. This has been a very good one, man. Kunta, appreciate you, man, for coming through and speaking your piece. Matter of fact, let's close out. And let's close out the way we always do. And let's start with Kunta. So, Kunta, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Anything for the culture? Start paying these bands at these Battle of the Bands. That is all. That may be my closing statement going into the new year, but that's my last statement for the night.
Hey, I absolutely. I will not disagree with that. I don't know if she's back yet. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
I don't think I have anything. We covered a lot tonight, but I think my tip would be everybody not hating. There's always room for improvement. Take some of this stuff for what it is and not personally.
Okay, Maya, you back? You got a snack, didn't you?
After I took Sophie out.
I knew it. I knew you did.
I'm starving. I haven't had a true second of peace all day. I've been back to back to back.
It's all right. We good. But I knew you had a snack though. I just know. I know who I'm talking to.
I just had to grab a quick couple of bunches. You know.
Hey, I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying I knew what you did. You know, it's okay. It's not a sin. All right. Any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Well, I don't know what I missed, but oh my word. I don't know. We really covered it all today. I mean, I don't know. We just got to keep at it, being the change we want to see.
There's no steak tonight.
That's all. No, not tonight. Maybe tomorrow night. Friday night.
Quan, Pastor Quano. Any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Nah. I just believe with all my heart that this is what I'm supposed to do. I believe with all my heart. The people on this panel and that has been on this panel, our calling is to change and transmogrify and take HBCU bands and our culture and music education to the next level. We just got to keep the faith. And even though we don't see it now, it will pay off. I just believe that with my whole heart. But us as a people, we gotta pick the pill. Do you want to truly support bands, or do you want to talk about it? It's a choice. And I just feel like all band directors that truly are in the trenches, the Crystals, the Lukes, the Ricks, the Portias, everybody that's really in the trenches, that's really pushing, for our culture so that we can invest in these kids. We are the change. Even though, it can be discouraging. We just got to keep at it. And it'll be all right.
All right. Cool. All right. My final thoughts. So first off, unfortunately, sometimes I gotta always make sure I put it out there, man. The Rockets lost tonight. I mean, I know it's not a shock, but hey, it was pretty bad. They was getting their butts handed to them by the Nuggets. But also, please, I've never done this before, but I actually want to do this just to kind of see what you guys put out there, man. So all of anybody who's watching right now, all of our people who have been hanging with us for so long. If you know anybody that you would like to see us talk to on the panel or have on the panel or anything like that or have discussions with, please do not hesitate to hit us up. You can find us on Instagram at Real Talk That Talk. You can also email us at realtalkthattalk@gmail.com. But yeah, anybody you can think of or anybody that's on your mind or anybody that you want to have a conversation or would like for us to have a conversation with or converse with, just go ahead and shout them out and we'll do our best to try to get in contact with them. Also, yeah, I got to keep my head up, man. They struggling right now. Also, please make sure you go check out the store, www.realtalkthattalk.com. Remember, you can get 30% off your final purchase. Just type in HBCU band. I do not have anything else, man. I appreciate everybody who was coming through tonight, all my people who were inside of the chat. Man, it's always a great time to see you guys having fun in the chat. And I'm telling you right now, man, if y'all ain't seen that private chat be off the chain in here. But other than that, man, this has been a super dope episode. Some motorcycles going outside my house. This has been a super dope episode, man. I appreciate you guys, man. We will definitely be back next week. Tomorrow. Yes? I know I asked you before, but I want to make sure we good. Yes? Yes. All right. So tomorrow, the feature will be back on the airways tomorrow. And I got to make a call, man. I was supposed to make a call on last Monday about the new show that's supposed to be happening, and I missed that call. My bad. I'm going to call them tomorrow. All right. So, man, y'all stick around, man. Keep it locked to the Passionates Network. Crystal will be back also, man. This has been a great show. Appreciate all y'all. If you're going to watch it again, if you're watching on the playback, you can also click that like button when you're watching on the playback. And also, please make sure you click that like button on the way out. I have nothing else. This has been super dope. We will see y'all next week.